my belly as we were leaving the theater. I mean, we're talking like,
yeah.
Yep. And it's gurgling, it's rolling. I'm coming down 356. I'm like, I gotta go. We get behind.
You may have to pick me up next week right from school.
Yeah.
Like 3:30 maybe.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and a half, I think, I saw.
It could be even a little bit longer than that.
I don't think there's any way to really make time getting up there.
No.
You know?
Oh, sorry. It's my hat. It's almost 2.
I believe it.
Check, check. Anybody back there?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, loud and clear.
Good.
Real good.
Is it Jeff? That's what I thought.
Did you get a bit more volume, Tyler?
Yeah.
There we go. That's better. Thank you.
We sound all right on your end? Okay, cool. We'll just go after this song, Jeff. This is also going to be on Armstrong 204, so I'll probably be like trying to tell you 30-second timeout, 60-second timeout. It's kind of like in rock football. I just got to not talk during commercials, basically. I mean, if I do, I don't think it's a huge... Good. Perfect. So, yeah, we'll run Trib Open, Local Open, and then hit us.
What's the song? Kung Fu Fighting? Nice. Yeah, I like it.
And then we've got these 2 breaks, so it'll probably be a fairly quick, opener. We'll hit that first line of breaks, come back, we'll be fairly quick, and then we'll hit that as another liner. So, I mean, we got a number of spots to get through.
we're away the next 2 weeks, and then Seneca here, so I'll be away for that.
Yeah.
Boy, kind of thin in front of us, isn't it?
What's that?
I mean, it's kind of thin in front of us, isn't it?
I think so. And we bring you in live atop Fairground Hill onto the campus of Butler Senior High School as we welcome you in for another edition of Butler Golden Tornado Football. Pleasant good evening, friends, and thank you for joining us on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. I'm Tyler Friel, joined alongside my partner Chris Morrow as the Golden Tornado get ready to take on the City League's Brashear Bulls in another beautiful Friday night matchup. Chris, it seems like anytime we get together, the sun is shining, the weather is beautiful, and it's another case of it once again tonight.
Hey, great night up on the hill. This is all we've had this year, really, so hopefully the trend continues into October.
Golden Tornado looking to reverse trends on their side of things after a 21-14 loss to Meadville last week, a game in which the Golden Tornado, Chris, it seems like we saw two sides of them, a first half in which they struggled, could not put any points on the board, and then really a second half where they were able to stop Meadville offensively and get some things done offensively. Unfortunately for Butler, they just could not turn it into 48 full minutes of football.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got to play four quarters. I mean, and it was a tale of two halves, basically. They struggled early offensively, and, that being said, they struggled a little bit defensively early as well, but I think overall the defense played a little bit better. There was a pick six that accounted really for the winning score. Mm-hmm. So they need to put together four quarters tonight and special teams. I mean, they just really struggled early. So,
and one of the things that you saw head coach Eric Christie talk about throughout the course of this week was talking about practice. He didn't feel like they had a great week of practice heading into that Meadville game. What is the mindset then from a head coaching standpoint to go, all right, if we haven't had a good week of practice, how do I adjust that during the course of the week, and how do I get my team prepared to go play out on a Friday night?
Well, I think where it starts, obviously, is in the film session Saturday morning, and you talk about it on Saturday morning, and I also think what you do from a coach's standpoint is I think it's very, very important that you need to pull in your seniors, and you need senior leadership because the team goes the way that the seniors will take it. So I think you sit down with those guys and you get a vibe from them on what they thought about last week's practice. And then, there's always a couple coaches on the staff that can crank it up a little bit. And then I think you crank it up. You come out, you start hitting a little bit, you start getting after it a little bit, and hopefully things fall into place.
For the Golden Tornado, their opponent today, a Brashear Bulls team, they're 0-2. We've talked in the past about unfamiliar opponents, Chris, because curious to see from a coaching side of things, what exactly is your week looking like? As you're going in there, okay, we haven't seen these guys. We really don't know what their tendencies are. What are you evaluating, and then how do you adjust your week of preparation?
Well, I think what you do is you focus a little bit more on yourself. I think, you spend a lot of time when you go against other teams, like last week, you played Meadville before you get out that film, and you study what they do, and you try and counter what they're going to do. But I think in a week like this where you're going against a team, it's a City League team, on paper, to be frank, it should be a W. They're bigger than this team. They should get out of here with a win, and I think you focused on what you do rather than what the opposing team does. You start to go back a little bit and work on basics with your own football team.
We're going to continue on with our pregame as we get you ready for kickoff about 6.5 minutes away. That's all coming up right here on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
They go on the air at 7.
I think they're on now.
Okay.
We'll take this block, Jeff. We welcome you back to Harper Nardi Stadium. Butler getting ready to take on Brashear. Tyler Friel with you, Chris Morrow, as you are in the pregame show. Chris, taking on Brashear, keys to victory tonight for Butler.
You got to play 4 quarters. I mean, number one, you got to play 4 quarters. I think offensively, you have to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Deshaun Cox has to see the football. Aiden Davis has to see the football. Mac has to throw the football, and he has to run the football. I think the key to defense is we cannot sit back. We have to attack. We can't let things come to us. We got to step to it and make plays. And obviously on special teams, you got to just do your job, and everything will be fine on special teams.
Golden Tornado getting ready to take the field, and that means we are getting ready to take you to our Robert Stevens kickoff. That is all coming up next, right here on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Four and six. Just say 10.
And we welcome you back into our Bernardi Stadium. Tyler Friel with you alongside Chris Morrow as we get ready for our Robert Stevens kickoff, making beautiful memories on May. Brashear winning the toss. They have elected to receive. Back to receive for the Bulls is Jaden Atkins, the sophomore, along with Sean Solomon, who is doing a lot of the running for this Brashear team. It is the senior Max Gianeski ready for the run-up. And it is end over end. A pretty nice kick that will be fielded at the 2 by Atkins. Atkins will take it up the right side. He's got nowhere to go. The Golden Tornadoes landed Dubiak all over him. Return taken out just to about the 15-yard line, so a return of about 13, and the Bulls will set up shop with a 1st and 10.
And Lyndon Dubiak is a guy that I talked about to a couple people this week. I said, he's playing. He's not an every down player right now, but I'll tell you what, he's sure making a case to be. He's being asked to do things a little bit on offense, a little bit on defense, and a little bit on special teams, and I feel he's showing up every week, and he does it to start this football game, and he buries the Bulls behind the 15-yard line. I said that the goal is always 25. They're sitting inside the 15.
Donovan Meadows doing the quarterbacking duty for this Brashear team, who is down their best player in Tamir Robinson, the Penn State Nittany Lion recruit. He's out with an injury. And it'll be a handoff. This is Solomon bouncing to the outside. We'll stretch it out to about the 19 where he is brought down, but a gain of 4.
Nice play there. That's actually a play we saw last week where the guard leads around the left end. And it's just, we talked a little bit about having an I backfield where you have a fullback. This is the guard leading the play on the outside. Junjun Andrada does a nice job from his linebacker spot, coming up, taking the play on, playing downhill. You hear that all the time. That means going forward, and Cooper McTighe cleans it up. It's a nice job by our linebackers.
So it is officially nose of the football at the 19 as Brashear in their white unis with the gold numbering move right to left on your radio dial. 3 wide receivers set. The sidecar from Meadows is Solomon. He's to the left. Meadows will roll to his left. The lefty quarterback now stretching back to his right. Coming back across the play. Tries to step up. Makes a man miss, but he's got nowhere to go. Brock Popovich will gather him at the 10. They'll give him forward progress. He was actually knocked down eventually at the 5, but they'll mark him at the 11. That's a loss of 8.
It's a great play once again by Brock Popovich. He was our deal player of the game last week. He shows up early here. What they wanted to do is they wanted to throw it out here outside on a streak to the number 1 receiver. Aiden Davis playing man coverage. Uses the sidelines. Does a great job. Kind of pushes him into the sidelines. He's forced to go out of bounds. He can't come back in. So quarterback has to retreat, and Brock Popovich is waiting for him.
Golden Tornado are gunning for what I call Chris Morrow's start on this one on defense and try to force a 3 and out. It's a 3rd and 14 now for Brashear. 10:25 to go in the first. No score.
Trips right.
Sidecar to the right is Solomon. Meadows out of the gun. And we get a whistle. Looks like a flag and could be a delay of game potentially.
Might have had some procedure.
It is going to be a delay of game, so
yep,
5-yard penalty. That'll move them back to the 6, making this now a 3rd down and 20.
And Golden Tornado back into their traditional defense. Last week they almost kind of got into a 4-3 look a little bit because of the wing T they were facing. Now they're a little bit more in the 4-4. They have 2 safeties deep. We'll see if the Bulls come back out here with trips. And they do.
Same formation. Meadows at quarterback. Solomon sidecar right, as Chris mentioned. Trips to the left of Meadows. Inside the 10-minute marker and winding. Meadows looking. Slam pattern falls incomplete. Was targeting Julian Valdez. Throw was short, so 4th down and 20.
Tornado had it covered. Basically what they were trying to do, they ran 2 guys to the inside, probably a little bit too close. A double slant route made it easy for the safety and the linebacker to be in the way. Came up short. That's a great start for the Golden Tornado defense. Better than we saw last week.
And going to be one of those tight quarter punting situations here. Well, theoretically, as Meadows will trot into the huddle, unless they're going for a pooch punt situation here.
I don't know if they're going to really try to fool anybody here with the pooch.
We'll see. They're in that same formation. They've got trips to the right of Meadows. Sidecar and Solomon. Snap. Rolling. He's going to fire. They want the streak pattern one-on-one over top, and it is intercepted by Aiden Davis, who's brought down at the 33. Not the worst situation for Brashear there, but a takeaway for Aiden Davis.
Really, that's just as good as a lousy punt there, and that's what you need to do as a coach is talk to your kids about situational football, because if you're Brashear, the City League obviously is a little bit different football sometimes, but I think, if you're out there, you say to your kids, listen, just bat it down, because now that the Tornado get the ball, they're on the 33-yard line, but if they don't, they're inside the 10.
Yeah.
So you got to have a little bit of football IQ going on there, a little bit of situational football. But as it is, still Tornado set up in good situation.
And the Golden Tornado will come out in the gun. This time, sidecar left will be Deshaun Cox in a 3-wide receiver set. The up back is Landon Lacey. 9:41 on the clock in the first, no score. Handoff, Cox up the middle, spins out of a tackle, and then will be ripped down after a flag comes in. I think there's going to be a face mask.
Well, and actually, I think what they did, I was watching it, and I think they actually grabbed them by the back of the helmet, which I don't know. If I'm Brashear, if they call a face mask, I would probably take some they're going to go with a personal foul face mask. That's 15 yards, and I don't necessarily know if it was that. I saw him kind of get him by the back of the helmet, but Tornado will take 15 yards. That should put them right about the 17-yard line, I'm thinking, right?
I'm going to trust your mental math on this.
You're the numbers guy in this duo.
Oh, let's go 17. So far, Mr. Morrow, 1 out of 1 on his math.
Well, first week of school, I'm sharpening the pencil.
Exactly, there you go. He doesn't do the mechanical pencil stuff. This is all pencil sharpener. Exactly. First down and 10 now for the Golden Tornado. As Chris mentioned, the ball sitting at the 17. 9:25 and winding after a penalty on the first offensive play of the game for the Golden Tornado. They'll go to the pistol formation. Deshaun Cox behind Mack. They motion Graff. Now Mack will throw a one-on-one over top, and the pass is in and out of the hands. Ryan McClister, the target. Nice throw by Mack to get it to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and Rhino just can't hold on to it in the back corner of the end zone. It was a good play. Already seeing some adjustments from last week. Last week we saw Deshaun Cox. He was split out a lot, I felt like, last week. And we saw Landon Lacey in the backfield. And already, on that we saw Cox was in the backfield. So, when you lose a game like that, you always tinker a little bit with some of your alignment.
We'll see them go back to the pistol formation here in a 3-wide receiver set. Graff in the slot. Cox dotting behind Max Schnorr. Lacey the up back to Max left. Schnorr, screen pass. Davis, juke move, but a good tackle and gather by the Brashear defender. Leading the charge was Michael Holloway. Bring him down right around the line of scrimmage. They may actually give him one to the 16.
And that, that's a great play. I would try that play several times throughout the ball game because Aiden Davis is such a good athlete. A lot of times with what Brashear was set up in, they had a linebacker splitting the difference with the corner. When he gets one-on-one out there, it's a little bit more of an effective play because it is one-on-one. So I'd like to see it maybe in a little bit of a different defensive.
8:40 and winding here in the first. No score between these two teams. A 3rd down and 9 upcoming for Butler. Schnorr out of the gun. Looking. Fires across the middle. Tipped in and out of the hands of McClister again. Pass falls incomplete. Did not see the Brashear defender that got a hand on it but knocked it away at the last minute.
Yeah, the Brashear Bulls are playing a 4-3 defense, so that's 4 down linemen. They got 3 linebackers. So they have that middle linebacker right over the center there, and the outside guys are over the tackles. And then they have 2 deep safeties, and one of those safeties kind of played it short, got a hand on it, and Rhino wasn't able to pull it in.
4th and 9 upcoming for the Golden Tornado. Clock stopped at 8:23. No score in the first. Butler now will go to the 4 wide receiver look. Sidecar right and Landon Lacey. Schnorr will roll right. Looking, comeback route, pass is caught by Davis. He's in. Golden Tornado touchdown.
Nice play there. Just something that they've become very, very good at over the last couple of years is that little rollout into the boundary. It's a short side play. It's kind of a flood route. You're kind of flooding the zone. You've got 2 defenders over there, and you're sending three pass catchers at him, and they got to choose. He hits Aiden Davis for the Golden Tornado touchdown.
It's nice. We talked about some comfort blanket plays last week for the Golden Tornado. That definitely appears to be now in Jason Butler, Eric Christie's playbook. Hey, we need to pick up 10 yards. We've got this play in our pocket, and Mack throws very well in the run.
And it's hard to defend because as a defensive coordinator, a lot of teams don't go into the boundary, and they run it into the boundary. I mean, they shorten up the field.
Gianeski's extra point is up, and it is good.
Count it.
7-0 Golden Tornado in front. 8:17 to go in the first. We've got more Golden Tornado football coming your way next as you are listening to Butler Football on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Let's do 2.
Give a shout out to my dad.
5-play drive for the Golden Tornado going 33 yards, ending in a 16-yard touchdown pass from Max Schnorr to Aiden Davis, giving Butler a 7-0 lead as Brashear will bring it out around the 5, and they've got a gap, bringing it up the field. 25 was Jaden Atkins. We'll take it to the 28, a little extracurricular activities. Yeah. This was around the 45. We've got laundry
all over the field. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Usually when you have something that happens like that, a lot of times it ends up being offsetting, but I don't see the Tornado coach is extremely angry with the Butler player who was involved in the mix there. So,
but a pretty efficient first drive, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what you needed to have, actually, especially, after last week not being able to put the ball in the end zone in the first half. And I think it's worth noting that you have 2 offensive starting linemen that are out. The 3-year starter, Marquise Frazier, is out for at least another couple weeks. And Ethan Bebe went out last week early in the game.
Very early.
And we found out that he's going to be out. Neither one of them are season-ending injuries, but, those are 2 starting linemen. 2, actually, this will be their 3rd year starting coming back that they haven't had. So that definitely plays into what you want to do offensively.
Yeah, guys who are anchors up front who you really like to see, especially on both sides of the football. As the officials get things sorted out here, Chris, let's give a shout-out to the big guy.
Yeah, to my dad. We're halftime, buddy. We're halfway. I'm proud of you. Couldn't be prouder. I love you. We're doing great. We're going to keep after, get a win for you here tonight.
And so now the White Hat giving the call. Looks like these are going to be personal foul penalties against both Brashear and Butler. So those will offset, and that'll bring up a first step.
Another one against Brashear. Yes, that's another one against Brashear. So I think what happened is the original scrum that happened about the 45-yard line was offsetting, and then I think somebody from Brashear did something away from that, and that negated. That was a late flag that came in. So I think they're still going to get tacked on another 15 yards. So where the ball sits right now, it looks like it's they have it right around the 29-yard line, and that'll back them up another 15 to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, and head coach Andrew Moore for the Brashear Bulls having a word with the officials right now. I think just trying to figure out exactly, hey, where is that extra 15 coming from?
Well, you know what, and it's a game like this, Brashear hasn't won a game this year. Butler's coming off a loss, so everybody's coming out playing with a lot of emotion. So it's something you want to get in check early if you're the officials.
This is on the Brashear 14 now. 8:08 to go in the first.
My math is correct again.
I tell you what, that's 2 for 2. So now, Brashear going out of the pistol formation. Meadows, handoff. Solomon the ball carry. He's got room to run up the middle. He picks up the first down, tripped up at the 27-yard line. That's a gain of about 13.
It's just an ISO play, and if Landon Lacey isn't there for a shoestring tackle, it goes for 6. So right now, Brashear back on the football.
Right on the top. As Meadows will hand back off to Solomon. He's bouncing it to the outside this time. Steps up, gets close to the 35. They'll mark him just shy of that. That's a pickup of 7 on first down.
Yeah, and it's not a bad job out there by Ian Wilson, who was also fighting injury, played the JV game last week, playing corner. Does a nice job of turning it back inside to the outside linebacker.
No doubt this is the quickest tempo we've seen so far from any team for the Golden Tornado. Solomon, the ball carrier once again. The Golden Tornado this time gather. However, a flag does come in. We'll see what this is all about. It was
nice
around by first initial contact from Brock Popovich.
Yeah, once again, Brock Popovich. But what we're seeing from Brashear right now, it's going to be a hold that goes against the Bulls. It'll take them back. Second down. What we're getting is a formation we haven't seen yet this year. It's a pistol formation, and what you have is a sidecar, which is what typically we have seen. But then they have a back, like a true tailback behind the quarterback. So what you're getting now is a lot of fullback play. You're getting a lot of ISO, a lot of F block, we used to call that, taking on the end. It's a little bit old-fashioned of a play call, but it's out of a different formation with the pistol. So Tornado haven't seen it yet.
Brashear's Ramir Boyd injured on the play. Appears to be favoring a leg as he limps off the field. But as Chris had mentioned, a holding penalty, negating that previous play, moving the ball back to the 24, actually check and make a 23-yard line, setting up a second down and 14 now for the Bulls. Meadows, after getting the call from Andrew Moore, runs into the huddle. The 5'10 junior quarterback. for Brashear. Back to the pistol formation. And this one's a power toss right side. Solomon looking to cut upfield.
Great play by Terrell Holderman. Super job. Comes from his defensive end spot, is not fooled. Once we said the fullback goes up inside, and Holderman's right there to make the play. The Tornado have kind of shifted a little bit from their traditional 4-4 defense into a more of a 4-3 look, which lets them have both of those safeties and lets it have that linebacker right over top. What that 4-3 does sometimes, it'll give you a little bit of added strength inside the tackles. 4-4, if you're getting hit outside, a lot of times you have that extra guy outside. 4-3 brings him in.
So here we go, 3rd down and 16 for Brashear. Back to the power pistol formation, 2 wide receivers. Meadows looking to throw. Fires a slant pattern. Caught.
Intercepted.
On the pickup.
Ian Wilson.
Golden Tornadoes. Ian Wilson, and he will go.
He says, give me 6. Touchdown, Tornado.
Ian Wilson playing the tip drill and taking it in for a Golden Tornado touchdown.
And if you're watching the play on TV, if you watch the WVU Pitt game, very reminiscent of the touchdown play that Pitt actually scored, the go-ahead touchdown from the West Virginia wide receiver. Just, it's there, it's a little bit high, he tips it up in the air, and the corner just standing in the right place, right time, picks it off, takes it for 6.
32 yards on the return for Wilson. Coming back from injury as well. He was another one of those Golden Tornado players that were hurt early on in the season.
I think he had a broken wrist.
And coming back and making a splash play right there. Gianeski on to attempt the extra point, and this one, no doubter, right down the middle.
A little shocked there was a penalty there.
Thought maybe Brashear jumped off sides. Golden Tornado, though, will take the extra point and move on. 14-0, that's the score. 6:14 to go in the first. Butler rolling early, and you are listening to Golden Tornado Football. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout right here on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network. Ian Wilson, 32-yard touchdown return, taking it into the Morrow corner of the end zone.
That's where I have my only varsity touchdown.
The only varsity touchdown of a young Chris Morris career.
Yeah, a little plaque down there. It's about as big as a penny. You really got to look for it.
Whenever you go and, you're going into Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, you see where Franco caught the Immaculate Reception.
Very similar.
Very similar. Actually, you see a lot of youngsters in the midget program. They go down into Morrow's corner. They get their picture taken, recreating the touchdown.
There's a statue of me at the Butler Airport by General Butler. Right as you enter the Butler Airport.
Here's the run-up from Gianeski, end over end, but this one is out of bounds. And so a rare kick for Gianeski that's off the mark. He's had a tremendous senior season so far. This is one of the few mistakes we've seen him make.
Yeah, he's really done a good job here. So Tornado trots the offense back out on the field. If we... there's only 6:14 left in the first quarter, so we could actually, and we're going to be, the defense trots out in the field. The way that we have been playing here, there's a chance that we could get up 21 in the first quarter.
So it moves out to the 35, best field position Brashear has had all day.
And that's an automatic on an out-of-bounds kick.
They'll return to the power pistol formation. Meadows at the quarterback position. They will hand off Solomon, trying to bounce it to the outside, stretches a play, has the corner, picks up the first down, crosses the 50, will be dragged down around the 45, 44-yard line. And that'll be a big pickup for Solomon.
And Declan Dobson makes the play from his safety position. And once again, it's just you got that fullback. You don't see it a whole lot really right now with what's happening in high school and college football. But he's just leading the play around end, and they were able to seal everybody. And here they come back on the ball.
First down and 10. Brashear playing hurry up in the pistol formation. Tavia Drury getting set as the wide receiver to the left of Meadows. Clock winding inside the 6-minute mark. Handoff Solomon once again, bouncing left side. Golden Tornadoes Cooper McTighe coming from to bring in a gain of 2.
feel. I know in the first game our linebackers struggled, and really last week I thought they played a little bit better, and here tonight I think they're playing their best football yet to date.
2nd down and 8 for Brashear. This is the first time tonight they are into Golden Tornado territory.
And they have some athletes. I mean, they definitely have some athletes on their football team.
Solomon being the bell cow tonight. He's looked very good in the early goings for the Bulls.
Twins this way, different formation.
And he'll be the ball carrier again. Gets off of a tackler, lowers a shoulder. Ian Wilson there trying to go low on Solomon, brings him down, limits it to just a gain of 2.
Yeah, nice job. Little design play there that they ran earlier with the guard pulling. They have there. It's traditional a sidecar. They follow the guard. The guard actually went up inside there. Running back had to bounce it to the outside, and Ian Wilson back from injury making his presence known here early.
No doubt 2-down territory after what we've seen from Brashear earlier in this game, so they're facing a 3rd down and 6, but most likely able to utilize the entire field here.
Third quarter. Butler up 14-0.
Traditional shotgun look with Solomon as a sidecar left to Meadows. 3 wide receivers. Meadows looking to throw, fires, pass complete. After the gain of about 2, give him forward progress to the 34.
Really nice job by Mac just coming up there, and he's able to reach right on top of it actually, and does a nice job. We have a Brashear player that is down.
And it looks like that
right
is
now.
Julian Valdez, who was the receiver on the play. And he's being tended to by the coaching staff and the training staff for Brashear. So with that, we will take a 30-second timeout ourselves. 14-0, that's the score. 4:24 to go in the first. You're listening to Butler Golden Tornado Football on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Fourth down and 3 upcoming from Brashear as Valdez walks under or off the field on his own power. Go for the Golden Tornado. Stop on the defensive side of the ball. Brashear has it at the Golden Tornado 34, and they will go to the power pistol. Solomon behind Meadows, the quarterback. He'll be the ball carrier, trying to bounce it to the outside, and will try to power his way to the sticks. He's not going to get it. The Golden Tornado will play a stout defensive series there and get the ball back.
And who shows up on the play? Not an every down player right now. They put him in for one play, actually, at defensive end. He's playing at stand-up defensive end. Billy Elliott dials up the pressure, which jams up the inside, and who's there to make the play but Landon Dubiak. So when called upon, that's what you have to do. When you're given the opportunities, you have to make the most of them, and he's doing that so far this season.
Golden Tornado now on offense for only the 2nd time tonight, as they were able to score on their first drive of the game, and then a 32-yard interception returned by Ian Wilson gave Butler a 2-touchdown lead. So Max Schnorr and the gang will start with a 1st and 10 at their own 33. Shotgun formation for Butler. Mack back in the pocket. He'll step up. He wants the deep ball. One-on-one coverage over top to Braylon Littlejohn.
And there's going to be a flag.
Pass interference. He had gotten behind the defender, William Davenport, step for step, and that was enough to drag him down. Maybe if he isn't interfered with, he could have brought that down. It would have been close.
Braylon was cleared. Actually broke his hand earlier in the summer playing basketball. Was cleared just Wednesday, so I knew he was going to see some limited action here tonight. And obviously, Mac knows he's probably going to see limited time, so he thinks he wants to, try and zing it downfield. He loves to throw that, and really is a great pass. I think would have been a chance to catch the football if he wasn't interfered with. As it may, in high school, it's a 15-yard penalty. Sets up Butler at the 48-yard line, their own 48. 1st and 10.
One thing noticing early here, Chris, Butler not afraid to challenge on deep balls right now.
Absolutely.
We've seen them attack the end zone a number of times. So now it will be a 1st and 10 at their own 48 with 4:09 on the clock here in the first and a 2-touchdown lead. Motion man is Littlejohn. They fake to him. Slam pattern high for Davis. Nearly intercepted. On the other side was Jaden Atkins. Did not get a quick enough eye on it. And so 2nd down and 10.
It's a great play call. What I like they do there, they run the jet sweep with Littlejohn, and they get them coming all the way across the formation. So if you're a defender, you get in a bad habit sometimes. You start leaning towards that motion, and they come back slant the other way. It's just a little too high for Aiden to handle.
And boy, those are some of the patterns right now. If Schnorr and his wide receivers could get on the same page with those slant patterns,
nobody could play them. Yeah.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Golden Tornado. They will give it off to Deshaun Cox. Goes up the middle. Cox will stretch across the 50. Or actually, check that. He was brought down short. Gain of about 1.
So that'll bring up probably a 3rd and long for the Golden Tornado. And you know what? They're midfield. I mean, to see what you get here. I mean, if you could get half the distance, maybe you think of going for it.
Yeah, we'll see. Golden Tornado looking at a 3rd. And actually, they didn't really give Cox any yardage there, so it's a 3rd and 10 with 3:34. Mack rolling out to his right, still looking, fires, pass complete to Littlejohn, but we've got flags down. Braylon cutting back across the field. He'll be brought down at the 30, but I'm thinking they're going to get Mack crossing the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's going to be real close, and I know he's flirted with that a couple times this year. I think that's what it is, and unfortunately, that'll be,
And that's going to be a loss of down.
That'll be a loss of down, yeah.
So that may be a very easy decision for Eric Christie to just decide to send the punting unit back out there.
But what I like to see there is you have a Schnorr to Littlejohn. That's a combination we called a lot last year, and Littlejohn is back from his injury, and they're starting to reconnect. That is only going to get better as the year goes on.
I thought it was a loss of down.
Oh, I did too. Actually, they gave him a down. Okay, now
we're going to keep it the 3rd down.
The 2nd down there for a while. I thought it was a loss of down too.
Yeah, I apologize. 3rd down and 15 now, so Butler will have another crack at it. They go on the hard count, and they get Brashear to jump.
Nice job. So they'll get it right back. They were looking at what they were looking at a play ago, 3rd and roughly 11.
So that will move Butler back up to the original line of scrimmage.
And truthfully, in high school, any time that you can get your own kids not to jump, it's a victory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really hard thing to do. And, you got to give it to the poise of the kids that were able to stay on their side of the ball.
So Butler will be looking at a 3rd down and about 10 as Brashear takes their first time out of the half. 3:05 to go in the first. 14-0, the Golden Tornado in front over Brashear. But even you can tell right there, we're talking about comfort blanket plays. When they were facing a pressure situation, they went right back to that play into the boundaries. And it was there.
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, absolutely.
What can you do? Because we've seen Mack do this now a couple of times where he's gotten close to the line of scrimmage, if not over the line of scrimmage. Is there any, other than just trying to make your quarterback more field aware?
Well, anything you can in practice, sometimes you can put a cone there, just so that he gets that
rhythm,
that feeling that he's getting close. But, Mack makes such great plays doing that. You hate to, kind of lasso him in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll take a penalty here and there because I know he's already done it this year. He's going to make some great plays when he's flirting with that line.
And then when you have this option, and if you got that discipline on your offensive line,
yeah, absolutely,
penalties all for naught. And now you're looking at a 3rd down and 10 once again. So here we go back to the shotgun look. 4 wide receivers set. Schnorr rolling out to his right once again. Steps up. He wants the deep ball. One-on-one. Littlejohn over top, and the pass is incomplete. And there was good coverage.
Yeah, pretty good coverage on the play by number 6, Jaden Atkins, for the Bulls. So it'll bring up a 4th down, and it looks like Coach Christie will send in the punting unit.
Well, sitting at the 48 of the Golden Tornado.
I want to mention that the Midget League kids ran the Tornado out of the tunnel tonight. It's always exciting to see that. Their season's a couple or 3 games underway, I think.
And Braylon Littlejohn
doing the punting.
As I was looking for Max Gianeski, I was like, maybe he's not aware that they're punting. Actually, Littlejohn back doing the punting duties. He did this last year for the Golden Tornado, and it's a high snap. Braylon has to go back and chase after it, looking, and he actually gets a punt off. It may struggle to get. Actually, we'll take a Golden Tornado bounce, and we'll settle right around the Brashear 42-yard line.
Net 10-yard punt. So
he's still an amazing job
play by
to get it off.
Yeah, just to get it off. It's absolutely amazing because very easily you could have ended up with Brashear inside the red zone if he's not able to make that play. So just, having him back for one game just really just shows his athletic ability. I mean, we've called his name almost in every play so far, so great to have him back.
First down and 10 now for the Brashear Bulls. Their last drive stalling out after a turnover on downs at the Butler 32. They take over, 2:41 on the clock, 14-0. Butler in front. Donovan Meadows at the quarterback position, sidecar left, and Sean Solomon. And he'll be the ball carrier. Bouncing it to the outside, tried to cut back. The Golden Tornadoes' Brendan Stevens was there to drag him down for a gain of maybe a half yard.
And the Tornado are playing that 4-3 defense. You see Cooper McTighe's playing they call that the Mike linebacker a lot of times, in the middle of the field. And he actually blitzes. Now, he doesn't make the play, but what that forces the offensive lineman to do is they have to rethink their blocking assignments there, and they have an extra guy that has to come down to pick him up. And what that does is it frees somebody up on the outside to make the play.
So a 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain by Solomon. Clock winding under the 2-minute mark. Back to the shotgun look for the Bulls. 4-man front for the Golden Tornado. Meadows, handoff. This is Solomon cutting back upfield. Butler limited to a gain of about 2.
Pretty good linebacker play there. June Andrada comes up. They're actually a 2-linebacker set that time. He actually comes up. He's not really, you got to sink his hips a little bit when he gets into that hole. But what that does, he comes up in there and forces him back inside, where his partner should be Cooper McTighe. He's right there scraping to make the play. So it's a really good tandem linebacker play right there.
3rd down and 7 for Brashear. Ball sitting at their own 45. Butler working with a 2-touchdown lead as there's 1:20 on the clock here in the first. Meadows in the gun, sidecar left, and Solomon. 3 wide receivers set with an up back right. Meadows will be the ball carrier to the outside, will cut upfield, gets to the 50 near the marker, but a flag down in the area of holding. This one looks like it's going to be coming back.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if it's going to be a hold. They actually grabbed the outside linebacker 50 for the right around the neck. So I don't know if they're going to get a personal foul here, or they're just going to call a holding.
I think it was just a hold, so I think they'll march this back 10 to the 40.
It's on our sidelines. It was a pretty obvious call for the official. So that puts the Bulls back to a 3rd and 12.
And once again, I know we've seen 2 drives now stall out for Brashear going for it on 4th down. It feels like that's probably the inclination from head coach Andrew Moore.
Yeah, right. Well, when you go for it
at your own 6,
your own 6-yard line.
Surprised if anything else would scare you.
High
snap over the head of Meadows. Meadows will be out there to pick it up. The Golden Tornado will follow the football at the 4-yard line, but we do have a flag down on the play.
Yeah, and it came right into the kind of the action of the play. I'm not sure what you're going to get.
Terrell Holderman, by the way, was the one who scooped it up.
Yeah, and Landon Dubiak was on the scene as well. Landon actually tried to scoop it up to score, wasn't able to hold it, so Terrell falls on it.
I think they're going to call it targeting.
Yeah, they might.
At least that's the sign that Brock Popovich is flashing.
Well, and I don't know if I'd argue with Brock at this point to how well he's playing.
I'm not entirely sure where that would have happened either.
Well, it was kind of behind the fumble and the scramble to get there. So my attention was obviously directed towards the football.
It looked like Meadows was going to have a clean look to pick that up, but when the ball is bouncing on turf anymore, you never really know what.
Well, and Landon Dubiak saw it right away, and he was after it. He applied the pressure.
So a personal foul targeting penalty actually against the Golden Tornado.
Wow, so that will negate the fumble, and it will be 4th down.
No, it'll give Brashear an automatic first down.
Oh, an automatic first down. You are correct. Yeah. That's 15 yards.
So it must have been.
It had to be right during
I think it would have been maybe Dubiak, who was just hustling for the ball. I don't think it was.
I don't know.
nefarious contact by any means, and that's actually a spot foul or a line of scrimmage penalty. So that moves Brashear from a turnover where Butler would have had it inside the 5 to now a Bulls first down at the Golden Tornado 45.
Yeah, it's quite a turn of events for the Golden Tornado, but officials still waving something off. They want to get the sticks set here. Bob Zavacki was ready, I know that.
Oh, that's the only guy that matters on the side.
Yeah, he is ready. He's standing there. He's ready to go.
So after the call, a first down and 10 now for Brashear. 31 seconds left in the first. A 2-touchdown lead for the Golden Tornado. And they'll be back to Solomon. He has nowhere to go. They've been a pile a yard, bringing up a second down and 9.
Just
perhaps the last play of the quarter.
Yeah, Junjun Andrada in there as well as Brendan Stevens in there. Something interesting that I'm seeing here as a coach is I really felt like the Bulls had some success going with the formation where they had 2 backs in the backfield. I feel anyways that's where they've got some of their yardage, and they really haven't went back to it. They've kind of went in the traditional sidecar spread look, so not really sure what they're seeing. That'll bring us up to the end of the first quarter here.
14-0, that's the score. Golden Tornado in front. Second quarter action coming your way next, right here on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network.
I don't think that was Luby. He was down here unless they got him.
I think that's what they wanted. I think that quarterback went like this. I think so.
See, I thought it was back further. I thought he was going to scoop it.
Yeah.
14-0, that's the score as we begin action in the second quarter. Tyler Friel with you alongside Chris Morrow on a beautiful Friday evening atop Fairground Hill. Golden Tornado on defense after a targeting penalty negated a turnover for Brashear. So the Bulls now in Butler territory. By the way, tonight's game can also be watched on cable television. Butler Tornado Television, our friends here at the high school are putting this game on TV for you. You can check that out on Armstrong Channel 204. Shotgun formation for the Bulls. Meadows looking to pass. Lefty pumps behind time. He now fires over top, and the pass is intercepted. Landon Lacey will come down with it at the 14-yard line. He was camping under that like a can of corn in center field.
Is it easy to catch a can of corn?
I've never tried it.
I've never tried it either. Maybe we should try it. But anyways, that's why you play cover 2. When you play cover 2, you have a corner that can run with that receiver, and that safety just kind of hangs back there, waiting to see where the ball is going to go. He's playing in center field. He does a nice job. Not a great pass, but Lacey does exactly what he needs to do, staying deeper than the deepest receiver, picks it off for the Golden Tornado.
So the Golden Tornado will have it at their own 17. Definitely a big difference compared to having it at the Brashear 4-yard line, but nonetheless, Butler's got the football. It will be Max Schnorr in this Golden Tornado offense going with a 3-wide receiver set. Deshaun Cox, sidecar right. He'll be the ball carrier trying to get to the outside.
Oh,
he is tripped up. Nice defensive play by Brashear Bulls. Appeared to be
number 10, I believe.
Zaire Hartwell.
Yeah, nice play. Just really haven't been able to get that rhythm yet on the ground that I would like to see.
It's almost been 2 weeks now of that, Chris. Yeah. I think Butler's just been struggling to establish a ground.
And I really think that that's an indication of 2 of your missing linemen. Yeah. I think, if you have your big studs in the middle there, I think that we'd be getting some of those plays.
Lacey now the sidecar right and a 4-wide receiver look for the Golden Tornado. Cox the motion man. And they'll try to stretch it to him on the outside, bouncing it to the outside. Makes a man miss, but there are going to be plenty of Bulls that gather. And this will go for a loss of about 5 on the play, taking it back down to the 8-yard line.
Well, and I think when you're trying to get outside on a football team like this, they have very, very good athletes. They have some bigger guys on the inside. Their tackles are very, very big kids. but the strength of their defense is going to be running to the outside. So I think maybe what we can do here, obviously the pass, but I think running-wise, there's a giant gap in there. Their tackle is playing way outside of our guard. If you look, there's a natural cavity there. I'd love to try and to put it up inside of that.
Empty set now for the Golden Tornado. 5 wide receiver look. Trips to the left of Mack. Schnorr in the pocket. Flushed out right. Now looking down the field. He's going to take it himself. Running for the first down marker. He picks it up and picks up the first down. And using those legs that you talked about earlier in the season.
Yeah, I love him. He's got such wheels. When he decides to tuck it and run, such a dangerous combo. If you watch the football game last night and you watch the Buffalo Bills, they make a living at that.
Yeah.
They do a great job at it. So Mack has that type of capability. First down, Golden Tornado.
Yeah, picked up 15, needed 14. Moves the chains with a 1st and 10. Clock stopping at 10:18 as the chains get set. 14-0, the Golden Tornado in front.
It's the first time tonight we saw the open set.
And now we'll get a whistle and a timeout taken by the Golden Tornado. So we'll take a quick 30-second timeout as well. 14-0, that's the score. 10:18 to go in the second. Butler in front as you're listening to Golden Tornado Football on WBUT and the Triple F High School Sports Network.
There's a natural cavity between the tackle way outside and the tackle here. Where our guard is, look at the natural cavity. We're not going to get this. We got to acknowledge it. They need to exploit that. You'll see. And I don't know if these guys are not lined up right or if they're playing the outside, but that's the cavity. You can let Matt run. We get a second block. He can pick up 5 or 6 yards every time.
10:18 to go in the second. Golden Tornado in front, 14-0. So you were talking a little bit earlier, Chris. You're identifying what you think is a pretty big gap in the interior of this Brashear defense.
Well, when you look at an offensive lineman like a guard, if you're facing him, you number him 1, 2, 3. So a 1 technique is on the shoulder, a 2 technique is heads up, a 3 technique is on the outside shoulder. The tackle has been lining up in a 3 technique, and the tackle on the other side has been lined up. Now here he's closed it up, but there's still a big gap. They have really 3 down linemen. There's a big gap there.
Golden Tornado going out of the pistol on a 1st down and 10. They will give it off to Deshaun Cox, who runs up the gut, takes it out to the 34.
And that's a good play for Deshaun Cox. I think if we put a lead blocker in front of him, I think we could really chew up some real estate.
And I apologize, not the 34, but rather the 29. As that'll bring up a 2nd down and 5.
So what Brashear is doing is they essentially have 3 down linemen and they have 1 stand-up end. And their linemen are big, but they're spreading themselves out, so they have a lot of meat on the offensive line, and they have 3 linebackers, but they're really playing far off the ball. They're about 6, almost 7 yards off the football.
4 wide receiver set for the Golden Tornado. Motion man is Little John. Braylon will roll to his left, so does Butler's. Max Schnorr fires to Deshaun Cox. Pass complete, well into Brashear territory, and he may go to the end zone. A Golden Tornado touchdown for the time being, but we do have a flag down on the play. It appears that this one will be coming back.
Yeah, and it looks to be in the area of holding. Nice play that will be negated because of a hold. It was thrown relatively early on in the play.
It may actually have been an emotion play. An illegal shift.
Okay, it was an illegal shift.
As they'll give the explanation to Eric Christie, who seems satisfied with the call. Flag came in almost right after Braylon had been put in motion, and that ball was snapped. So I'm not entirely sure where the infraction happened. And I think Eric is going out right now to Mack to actually talk to him, and I'm wondering if that's where the infraction happened.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Sometimes the quarterback needs to watch that motion.
Now, does he have to get set? Or
well, what happens sometimes you have somebody in motion and they call it late and he turns upfield a little bit, can be a penalty. So there has to be some timing there. I'm not sure what it is, but I think that his discussion with Mack would tell me it might have been something with when he decided to have the ball snapped.
So that ball will go back to the 24.5-yard line of the Golden Tornado. Again, negating what was a really nice pitch and catch from Shore to Cox. 9:25 on the clock, 14-0. That is the score. Butler in front. And We've got some confusion here for the Golden Tornado, and they're going to have to burn another timeout. Those are the ones, Chris, that you just really bother.
Yeah, they do, because you're coming out of a play essentially and with a penalty where you have a little bit of extra time to decide what you want to do, and it really frustrates you if it's a personnel issue.
Yeah.
But in a game like this, right now you're up 14. There's plenty of time. 9:25 to go. It's not that big, but when you look at, if you have to take something like that in the second half of a ball game, then it becomes a really, really dangerous timeout.
Once again, 14-0 lead for the Golden Tornado. Also, I'd like to take this time to thank Firehouse Subs and Bill Fry. They hooked us up with some delicious food here today. Hoagie platter, some cookies, some cherry limeade that I partook in as well.
Yeah, you'll be going to the clock.
It was very sugar.
Yeah, it was good.
It was very good.
And you
Chris,
got yourself a hat.
I've got myself my Firehouse Subs helmet here. I am the fire chief for the evening, so I'm very excited about that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And you look good in it.
Well, thank you.
A lot of guys couldn't pull that off.
Well, some of us try very hard. 9:25 on the clock. Butler out to a 5-wide set, so, again, appreciate Firehouse Subs. Max Schnorr, now he's got time. Flushed out left, now facing some pocket pressure, and tried to throw back across his body to Landon Lacey. Falls incomplete, and so that'll bring him a 3rd down and 10.
Tried to get the out and up to Landon Dubiak. It was actually covered pretty well there, so Mac decides to kind of throw, and that's a tough pass. Mac puts it very, very close, but just not complete. Brings up a 3rd down 10 for the Golden Tornado.
We've seen Butler now be in some of these 3rd and long situations, Chris, throughout the evening. Granted, they've been able to move the ball at times, but they've really been operating behind the sticks so far.
Yeah,
tonight.
they have been. And really, as an offensive coordinator, you always want to operate from like 3rd and medium, 3rd and short. But this offense has the opportunity really to have confidence to play 3rd and long. And right there, they go on a hard count, and it looks like they're going to get the Bulls for an offside.
Yeah, they're going to get a neutral zone infraction against Brashear, so that'll move it up 5 yards, taking it to the 29. Second time Butler's been able to pull that off.
Yeah, nice job. Really, I don't know if Mac really even said much there.
Yeah.
He just kind of, as you would say, a little rambunctious. Yes, the defensive tackles. So, and the defensive tackles for the Bulls are big guys.
They are
definitely big kids.
And this is a Brashear team. It should be mentioned without their top 2 players, Penn State recruit Tamir Robinson, also Akron recruit as well, Cameron Cheatham. So now here we go on a 3rd and 5. Mack crossing pattern complete. Caught by Aiden Davis, who takes it out to the 45, to the 46. The Golden Tornado pitch and catch goes for a gain of 17 and a Butler 1st down.
And offensive coordinator Jason Butler goes back to that. That was a play that was there earlier. Mack threw it just a little bit high. But once again, they run the jet motion away from the slant, and they bring the slant back the other side. You get that defense kind of favoring that motion, and they come back the other side. It's one of the toughest plays in football to cover.
1st and 10 for Butler. 3 wide receiver set for the Golden Tornado. Sidecar right into Sean Cox. The up back Landon Lacey. Play action. Screen pass left side. Braylon gets a block. Crosses the 50. Dragged down around the 46-yard line into Brashear territory. That'll go for a gain of 8.
Just a nice little screen to Braylon. And I got to tell you, without him doing a lot of work because of the injury, looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Butler making a conscious effort to get him involved in the offense as well. And, boy, we've talked about, and actually you can see now personnel adjustments moving to Sean Cox into the backfield.
Yeah,
moving Braylon into that
changes
role.
it, yeah. And I tell you what, you get Marquise back and you get Bebe back. I tell you what, this team's going to be really tough on offense.
2nd and 2, handoff Cox. Deshaun up the middle, picks up the 1st down, scampers to the outside, and will be brought down around the 35, a pickup of 11
and that's just an outstanding run by Deshaun Cox. Yeah, if you remember a couple years ago when the Steelers had Le'Veon Bell and he was at his peak, just kind of goes up to the line, kind of shuffles around, doesn't look like he's moving real fast. It kind of goes against everything, that you heard for years and years. You got to hit the hole. Was very, very patient there. He waited it for open off the left side, and he's able to get a 1st down for the Golden Tornado.
Pickup of 11 for Cox. Butler has it now into Brashear territory at the 35. They lead by 2 touchdowns, 14-0 with 7:45 to go here in the 1st half. Back to the pistol formation. Cox behind Mack. Throw, pass caught. Davis will reel it in around the 28, but we do have a flag down on the play. This could be in the area of holding.
Could be. Also, I'm not sure. It might have had a legal man downfield.
Yeah.
I saw somebody that maybe know it was a pass and took off down towards the linebacker, and that's probably, that's what it'll be.
Now, do you identify that play as a run-pass option, or do you think that was a straight pass?
I think it was a straight pass, but they did it so well because if you were watching Deshaun Cox, which I was on that play, Mack does a great job. He puts it right into his stomach and then pulls it out of there and goes for the slant, which really makes it first. And unfortunately, I think one of our offensive linemen definitely thought it was a run all the way and got downfield. So 1st and 15.
Yeah, it goes back to the 40-yard line as the clock will continue to wind. But nice to see that connection to Aiden Davis starting to work here on the slant pattern. Schnorr now play action. He wants a deep ball one-on-one. Little John with... Oh, man, he had it in and out of his hand.
Ball's incomplete.
Wow. It looked like he had high pointed the ball and brought it down. And I think he even had it on the first step. Just could not control the catch to the
ground.
You know what?
That's good football. If you're a football fan, that's great defense. That's a great offensive effort to go up after the ball. A great pass. It's good pass blocking. I mean, it's just a good football play. The Tornado will definitely go back to it.
2nd down and 15 now for the Golden Tornado. Clock stopping at 7:12. Back to the pistol formation. David Graff into the game at the slot as Little John checks out. McClister, lone man, bottom of the field. Mack play action. Steps in the pocket, wants a deep ball again, and it is incomplete. Was targeting Aiden Davis on...
He had him, too, just a little bit over the shoulder there. You got to appreciate, when you listen to those old tapes about Terry Bradshaw just saying, he wanted to throw it deep. Mack just wants to throw it deep. He just loves it. And both of those are right on the money. That's just a little bit outside Aiden Davis. He had to step on him. So, once again, the Tornado find themselves in a 3rd and long situation.
They need to get to the 25. It's currently at the 40 of Brashear. 7:05 on the clock. 14-0 Butler in front. 4 wide receivers set for the Golden and Lacey. Schnorr will roll left, and he'll take it himself using sideline. Will scamper and be marked out around the 33, so he picks up about 7 on the play, and we'll bring up a 4th down, and we'll call it 8.
We've already seen that twice from Mack today where he rolls out and he ends up pulling it down and running. So I'm imagining that our coaching staff, you and I talked about it last week, he's so talented at doing that, but he wants to throw the ball, which I appreciate that, but there's a time to run. He's done it here twice today, and he's picked up some nice yardage.
So gain of 7, they'll need 8, 4th down. Mack rolling to his right this time. Steps up, evades a tackler. Will now throw, and the pass is caught by the Golden Tornado.
Davis, first down.
Came back. Not sure if it was targeted to David Graff, who was on a comeback route, but Davis flew to the football, and under duress, Schnorr was able to get the throw off. Pass complete down to the 11. That is a pickup of 22.
And what he does with his feet there is just tremendous. He comes, and he actually probably should have been sacked. He jumps back, and I thought he was going to take off and run because he had some room, and he ends up throwing it downfield to Davis, who was in coverage. He puts it right on a dime, so it's a great play by both Davis, the offensive line, and Mack.
1st and 10. Ball at the 11 of the Golden Tornado are driving. Play action, Schnorr, slant pattern, easy touchdown.
Rhino, McClister, touchdown.
Talking about that slant pattern, Chris, that's perfect execution.
Yeah, it is
there.
perfect. It's so hard to cover. My dad always used to say this with the Steelers. It's the hardest play in football to cover because a good pass almost always beats good defense on that just because of the position and how quick it hits. Nice job. It's always good to see the slant get a touchdown for the Golden Tornado.
That is a 15-play drive for Butler going 86 yards. 20-0 Golden Tornado in front. Max Gianeski, low snap. Richie gathers it. Gianeski's kick up, no problem. 21-0. That's the score. 6:21 to go. Butler rolling as they lead Brashear here in the first half of action. You are listening to Butler football on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network. We'll come back after this, Jeff. Once again, a 15-play drive for the Golden Tornado, going 86 yards, ending on an 11-yard touchdown pass from Max Schnorr to Ryan McClister. Golden Tornado rolling here early, Chris.
Well, it's nice to see Ryan McClister get that touchdown. He was targeted twice on the first drive down in the end zone and kind of had balls hit his hands. Difficult catches, of course, but it's nice to see him come back, go to him, and that's Max trusting him and the coaching staff. That's a great job for McClister, senior, to get the touchdown. Boy, great moon over the city tonight.
Tell you what, it's gorgeous out.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful moon.
Gianeski with a line drive kick that will be fielded at the 5-yard line. This is Atkins on the return, taking it up the gut. We'll take it across the 25. Flag flying in.
Boy, I'll say.
Right at the end of the play.
Really nice play by linebacker June Andrada. You know, when you set up your kickoff team, you want your best tacklers out there. He does a really nice job of coming down, and what you're taught to do on the second level is button pressure, man. You got to run into him, and you got to stick your hands out and play off. He did a super job there.
And it will be a block in the back, moving this ball back for Brashear. Tell you what, that play also, in addition to being a 15-play drive, Chris, taking more than 5 minutes, actually about 5:49. That drive took a grinded clock, moved the football, picked up some key first downs.
How you want to do it, especially after coming off. We said enough that last week it was a struggle in the first half, and the Tornado have come out tonight, and they have come out very, very high there, not flat at all. They came out excited, playing with a lot of emotion here, and they've been able to put up a lot of points so far.
Meadows on the evening. Last drive ended in an interception. He's had 2 so far tonight. The main offensive attack has been Sean Solomon for the Brashear Bulls, and he'll line up sidecar right to Meadows. 3 wide receiver look for Brashear as they move left to right on your radio dial. Meadows, though, will go to the air. Pump fake. He wants the deep ball again. One-on-one coverage, and the pass is in and out of the hands of the intended target. They were targeting Jaden Nelson, the 6'5 senior for Brashear, but pretty good coverage from Littlejohn.
Yeah, Littlejohn. So I was kind of under the impression, again, I actually used the word sparingly, that he was going to play sparingly. It must be how I eat my dinner. Sparingly, but a lot, as he's playing. There was holding.
Yeah, there was actually a flag on the backside of the
holding
play.
Call that'll go against the Bulls, and that'll back them up.
That's probably going to be a half the distance penalty, so I would think it's going to take it to around the 8 or 9 yard line. Actually, they're going to give him the full 10 on that, so it'll take it to the 6. So it goes from the 16 to the 6.
Probably should have let me do the math.
That's true. You're 2 for 2 tonight.
I'm on it tonight. Yeah, I don't want to press my luck.
So first down and 20. Shotgun formation. Solomon the sidecar to Meadows right. And he'll be the ball carrier. Goes up the middle, now tries to bounce it out to the outside. He has room. Crosses the 10, gets to the 15, steps out of bounds at the 17. Essentially negates the penalty and will actually provide a +1 after that, making it a second down and 9.
Tornado continue to stay in that 4-3 defense, and you have the linebacker on the backside splitting half the distance with the receiver. It leaves 2 linebackers on the inside of the play, and in that time Andrada just kind of got sealed. Sometimes that's always a tough thing when you're playing inside like that. A lot of times they'll call that the will linebacker. We used to do like a Sam, a strong side, and a will, weak side. If you're inside the tackle box sometime in the 4-3, you have a little bit, sometimes a better opportunity to get sealed when the ball wants to go to the outside.
Second down and 9 for Brashear. Meadows out of the gun. And they'll go back to Solomon, this time off the left side. He's got room, cuts up the middle, crosses the 20, flag coming down.
Another flag. Nice play by Cooper McTighe, though, from his Mike linebacker spot in the middle of the field. Way to run it down.
And this one, again, looking like it could be in the area of holding. No, this is going to be a block in the back. This against Brashear, so that'll move it back.
Boy, I'll tell you what.
Second down, do you want to try this one?
If you're head coach Andrew Moore here, you got to be frustrated with your team.
There's been a ton of penalties so far.
Really have played some undisciplined football. I got to think now that they probably up close to 100 yards in penalties.
See if we can check half, but yeah, I mean it's been 2 steps forward, 1 step forward, 2 step back.
Right. Yeah. It's just been between all the offensive line penalties, and it's just been very tough sledding for the Bulls. Very undisciplined.
Second down and 16, 5-3 and 1 second. Butler leading 21-0. Meadows out of the shotgun. He'll look to throw. Looking to his left, wants the one-on-one coverage over the top, and the pass is intercepted. David Graff has it at the 40. And that will be the third takeaway tonight for this Golden Tornado defense.
Well, and what you're seeing is, once again, the Tornado, it's really the same setup. It's a one-man there on the inside. We're playing cover. We have two safeties over the top, man-to-man. Corners running with the receiver, and he's on them. But when you see a quarterback like Max Schnorr and his receivers compared to what we're seeing here, this is a kid who's never played quarterback. Solomon's never played quarterback until this year. You're not seeing the timing of the route, so he's kind of just throwing it deep. He's just throwing it up there, and he's had 2 balls picked off.
First down and 10 for the Golden Tornado as they have it at the Brashear 41. Working with a 21-0 lead. The Golden Tornado are going to continue to look to capitalize on Brashear turnovers.
Tornado almost having to burn another timeout, personnel issue.
Motion man is Littlejohn. And Max Schnorr will be the ball carrier this time, trying to bounce it to the outside. Shaked off the first tackler and actually threw an interception. He tried to keep the play alive, and the Brashear Bull that played takeaway appeared to be DeQuan Olison, and he took it to the 40.
Yeah, just
wow.
Boy, and we have talked a little bit about just having a feel for the game. You can't try and make too much happen. When you try and make too much happen, obviously he's hemmed in, he's on their sidelines. That's time just you got to tuck it just and take the sack and live to play another day, especially the way that you're playing on offense. You're up 3 scores right now. You need to just eat that ball and take the sack.
So a first down and 10 for Brashear, the first turnover tonight for the Golden Tornado. In a situation like you said, once again, I think, and you see this from Mac, I think a lot, trying to extend plays, trying to make the big play on it. And
it's a tough thing because he does such a great job doing it, that you don't want to throw a lasso on him and have him every time he goes out there thinking it. But, I think when he comes over to the sideline, just kind of put your arm. There's a flag on the play before he even gets started there. I think, I'm not quite sure what that is, but
illegal substitution against Brashear.
Probably broke the huddle, 12 guys maybe. But, I think you just kind of put your arm around Mac and you just say, hey, what should you have done?
Yeah.
He knows. He's a smart kid. He knows, and you just have to try and ingrain in him, hey, you can't do it. You're going to be in that situation again. You just can't do it.
First and 15. Solomon, the ball carrier, bouncing it to the outside. Room to run. Takes it to the 40 and will be brought down around the 35. Make it the 34. A pickup of about 11 on the play to bring up a second down and 4.
Well, and that's the formation that I actually drew up here in front of me. The Bulls have not went back to it. They've gone traditional spread. And when they have that extra back there, that's when they've been able to chew up some ground, and they haven't gone back to it. Now they've decided to, and it results in a nice game.
Second down and 4. Handoff Solomon, and he will stretch close to the marker. The Golden Tornado sideline, I think, wanting a false start on one of the receivers for Brashear, which it probably was.
Yeah,
but the referee's opting to hold the flag, and it almost feels, too, at times where the Stripes are trying to determine, hey, we may need to be a little bit more judicious with how we're throwing these penalty flags this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, I think. But, penalty's a penalty, something like that. I mean, a holding could go either way sometimes, but a penalty like that.
False start's a false start or
a
illegal motion,
But once again, the Bulls have gone back to that formation where they have the pistol, they have a back deep, and they have a sidecar.
That sidecar is Sean Peterson. Solomon, the ball carrier, goes up the gut, explodes across the 25, down to the 24.
And it's just it's an ISO play that they've run for 100 years, and all it is it's different because it's out of the shotgun with a sidecar. But they've had some success at that. They went away from it for a while, and now they have a little bit of a drive going back to it.
Is there an adjustment Billy Elliott can make on the fly here?
Well, I think something you could do is you could send a linebacker into that wherever that fullback is, but you have to be cautious because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll bait you. You start sending the linebacker up into the fullback, and then they come back the other way with a plug. What they call, what we've called a plug sometimes is you have the back going the opposite way, and then you've essentially wasted a linebacker. So you got to be careful doing that, but that's a quick adjustment to see what they do.
3 minutes on the clock, and we've got miscommunication. Ball is loose. It looks like Brashear has recovered it. They'll fall on the football around the 30. We do have a flag down.
And that flag was tossed probably 20 yards into the air.
Yes, it was. It caught everybody's attention here inside the stadium.
And it looks like it will go against Brashear. The officials coming over to talk to Coach Christie.
And I think at this point, this one may be one where Eric decides to decline a penalty if it's about a year. And it was an illegal shift, so he will decline that penalty, take the 5-yard loss off the fumble, and make it a third down in about 10, if not 11.
And it's a good coaching decision by Coach Christie and the staff there.
So that clock will wind.
3:05.
21-0. That's the score. Golden Tornado in front. Brashear into Butler territory for the second time tonight. They're staring down should be a third down, and I think the officials are trying to clarify that right now.
Well, talk to Zavacki over there.
And that's exactly what will happen.
Okay, Zach puts up the 3.
And he's granted one mistake per year.
Well, you got
home games, you know.
Doesn't get any better or any more passionate than Bob Zavacki.
So third down and 11. They will go back to Solomon, trying to cut up the middle. He does. May have gotten 3, if not 4 on the play. Takes it to the 28.5-yard line.
And that'll bring up fourth down. And they have not opted to punt, do anything other than go for it, so
we'll call it a gain of 3 at the 27. So as Chris had mentioned, they have kept the offense on the field all night long. They've attempted 2 fourth downs, including one at their own 6-yard line.
Yeah.
And now here, it makes sense, a fourth down and 8 when you have it at the Golden Tornado 27 and facing a 3-touchdown deficit nonetheless.
Well, we'll see if they try to throw it here. It's definitely a little bit of a mismatch height-wise out here on the
Jaden
right
Nelson,
side.
the 6'5 receiver. They'll instead go to Solomon. Stiff arms a defender. Almost had the angle to get there, but he just tripped over the 25-yard line. And so it will be a turnover on downs after a gain of about 5 for Solomon. There is an injured Brashear player down on the turf, and he appears to be pretty in a lot of pain at this point. So I'll tell you what, we'll take a timeout here with 1 time. Come back as Butler will get the football. You're listening to Golden Tornado Football on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We're good, Jeff.
I got them going deep.
Yeah. So the Brashear offensive lineman does come to his feet, walks off the field on his own power. But the Golden Tornado take over after the turnover on downs. 1:49 to go in the second quarter. Chris, a good opportunity for Butler to try to work on a 2-minute drill.
Yeah, absolutely, and they worked very well last week. Some people that actually saw the game on television said that Ryan McClister had a touchdown taken away in the 2-minute drill, so we'll see what they're able to come up with here. We know they can run it well.
Graff, the motion man, and the 4 wide receiver set. Mack will roll out to the left side, looking down the field, fires across his body, pass knocked around, falls incomplete, was targeting Ryan McClister on a throw that would have been around the 40-yard line, but an incomplete pass, making it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they're running 2 guys on the inside there, and then they're bringing the motion man, the jet motion man, outside into the flats. Mack opts to throw to McClister just a little bit high. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Clock stopped with 1:41.
Butler with 1 timeout. Golden Tornado will also get the ball to start the third quarter,
which I love.
That's why we called it a Chris Morrow start to this ball game. Schnorr, gun, handoff, Cox up the middle.
Oh,
boy, he is stuck by the Brashear defender, who came from the linebacker position. Appeared to be Peterson. Sean Peterson on the tackle for Brashear. So no gain for Cox on the play, and we'll bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Clock continues to wind, 1:20 and winding. Butler kind of taking their time here. I think if they maybe would have completed that pass right off the get-go, that they would have had a little bit more sense of urgency to get down the field, and then they decide to run Cox. So I think at this point they might just be apt to take the 21-0 lead. However, I have seen Mack throw it a country mile. So
3 wide receivers set. Screen play, right side, pass complete. Aiden Davis will be brought down just shy of the sticks. He does get out of bounds.
It's really close.
And they're going to mark him down at the 32. He needed to get to the 34, so he's about 2 yards shy. Here's an interesting decision for Eric Christie.
Yeah, it is a very interesting decision. 50.
It looks like he's going to leave the offense on the field.
Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't be surprised, too, Chris, to see this try to operate on the hard count.
Well, absolutely. And you and I talked about last week, boy, you'd love to see some sort of heavy package come into the game.
And they do go the hard count, but this time it's Butler that opted to move on it.
Yeah, which is now I think, especially with, it's a tough decision. You got Littlejohn back there to punt, but the last snap sailed over his head, and he was able to make, lemonade out of lemons, but I still think here you have to punt. You've played pretty good defense to this point. I think you trust your defense, and really Brashear hasn't shown a great penchant to throw the football with any success. So I think you got to kind of trust your defense here. You just got to tell your snapper, hey, take it easy, get it back, and let Braylon get off a big kick.
So a 4th down and 6. We'll now set the point unit out. Golden Tornado, good snap to Braylon. Littlejohn steps into one. It's a very nice punt that will fall at the 34. Take a Golden Tornado hop and be scooped up at the 32. They'll mark it. And so a 1st down and 10 for Brashear with 41 seconds to go.
So, and you have to kind of think here with Brashear, they've thrown a couple of interceptions here. They haven't really been able to do anything in the passing game. I think if you're Brashear, you just run the football a couple times, try and get into halftime without getting too banged around. I think the last thing you want to do is throw up another desperation pass, get it picked off, and all of a sudden Butler still has one timeout, and maybe they're sitting around the 30, 35, 40-yard line.
So 1st down and 10. Having it at their own 32. We'll have the Trib Live High School halftime show coming up for you in just a moment as well, part of our halftime show. 4 wide receivers set.
Well, they would have just ran another play and taken it into the locker room, but I don't know, maybe they have a trick up their sleeve. And, as a defensive coach, you have to be prepared for that. At the 9th grade game last night, scored on a play late. The old wasn't really a hook and ladder. It kind of had to it, but, it was a trick play that worked. So, people have it definitely. Everybody practices it.
But when you're trailing by 21,
right. Guys, play smart. Yeah, don't take any penalties. Maybe if you're a defender, step back a little bit. You don't want to let anybody get behind you.
Down, and we'll call it 6 at the 36 of Brashear. Four wide receivers set for the Bulls. Meadows operating out of the gun with a sidecar right in Solomon. And he'll look to throw. Rolling underneath pattern, nearly intercepted. Juju Andrade, I think, may have gotten a hand on it.
Yeah, he was pretty close there. That puts 31 ticks left on the clock.
So a 3rd down now and 6. And it looks like the Golden Tornado defender, at least holding a wrist, appears to be Landon Dubiak. He'll stay in the game.
Yeah, he's fine. Dubiak's too tough to go out with something like that.
So 3rd down and 6 with it at the 36.
Spread set.
Back to the gun formation. And
pressure comes.
The throw. He'll fire across the middle and caught by Brashear across the 50. And a juke move and a nice stick by Junjun Andrada. But on the reception for the Bulls was Dequan Olison.
And 21 seconds left on the clock. So if you're, if Butler, that really doesn't hurt you. You don't get beat deep. Just line up and play smart.
And they will spike
the
it.
Ball with 11 seconds. Wow, it took 10 seconds to get that play off. But so with 11 seconds left, that, like I said, that play really doesn't hurt you if you're Butler. So probably Brashear maybe has one, maybe two plays, depending how quickly they can do what they need to do.
That was a 20-yard gain, and I apologize. Atkins was the receiver for Brashear on that play.
He's kind of been the go-to guy for them to this point.
Well, they had Julian Valdez, who was injured early in this game. We have not seen him return to action at this point. So the main targets for Meadows, when he's not handing the ball off to Solomon, have been, as you mentioned, Atkins, and also we've seen into the mix Jaden Nelson. Nelson's a 6'5" target. He's at the bottom of the field in a 4-wide receiver set. Meadows looking to throw. He's rolling out to his left. The left-handed quarterback fires, connects with his receiver at the 40. Once again, it's Atkins. He'll be brought down at the 38, and a timeout taken by Brashear with 4 ticks on the clock.
Again, good defense by the Golden Tornado. Go ahead and, let them take the short route. A little bit of pressure there. But I think it was generated by our 4 down linemen. I don't think Billy sent anybody there. So it brings up a 3rd down, will be the last play of the half. And all you have to do here really in this timeout, if you're Bill Ellie, is just tell your guys don't let them score.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You've done a great job all night. You have 2 safeties that are playing very well over the top right now in that cover 2. You just tell them to continue to do that. They try and hit the home run ball twice to the number 1 receiver on the left side of the field. He's thrown 2 interceptions. So you kind of tell your safety on the right side, hey, don't be surprised if they come over here. There's a size advantage over here on the right side, so maybe they'll try and throw a jump ball over to this side. We'll see what they decide to do.
1 timeout each for both teams, but with 4 seconds on the clock, this will most likely be the last play of the half, barring any penalty. So it looks like the Golden Tornado will send 3 men deep in Littlejohn, David Graff, and Landon Lacey. Actually, check and make it 4 men. Max Schnorr will also head into the backfield as well.
And you know what? They're back there pretty deep. I'd probably move them up another 5. I mean, that's a little far.
They're sitting around the 10-yard line. This ball currently at the 37. Trips to the right of Meadows. A lefty in the pocket. He's flushed out to his left. Looking, and he'll fire across his body. The pass is intercepted. And a lot of green for Littlejohn. Littlejohn up the middle of the field. He crosses the 50. He's got blockers. He's got the 40. He's got 1 man to beat, and he will go into the end zone. Welcome back, Braylon Littlejohn. Littlejohn from about the 20-yard line, taking it, let's call it 80 yards for a pick 6 to end the first half. What a play by Braylon Littlejohn. Out with a broken hand. Thus far, comes back tonight. Just felt all over the field. Special teams, offense, defense makes a great play out of the prevent defense and takes it for 6 the other way. Golden Tornado with 2 pick 6s on the night. Ian Wilson and Braylon Littlejohn. Welcome back, Braylon. We're glad to have you. So Andrew Moore and the Brashear Bulls deciding that they wanted to take one final crack at the end zone at the end of the first half, and the Golden Tornado making them pay dearly with a nearly 80-yard interception return by Braylon Littlejohn. And now Max Gianeski will be on to attempt the extra point, looking to give the Golden Tornado a 28-0 lead heading into the half. Matthew Reese, the snapper. That's good. Hold by Richie Good. Kick by Gianeski. Good. Can't do it any better than that. No issues there. The Golden Tornado take a 28-0 lead into the half. We'll recap the first half next. You're listening to Butler Football on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We can run the second quarter block here, Jeff.
Oh, no way.
28-0, that's the score at the half. The Golden Tornado in front of the Brashear Bulls as we welcome you into the Cunningham Shaner halftime show. Let's go back to where this one all began, and that started for Brashear at their own 15-yard line. It was a third down. Actually, it was a fourth down and 11, and it moved the whole way back to their own 6, and they decided to go for it. And it actually resulted in a play that was probably the most beneficial for Brashear at the time, and that was an interception by Aiden Davis, who reeled it in at the 35-yard line. The Golden Tornado on the ensuing drive were faced with a fourth down, and they needed to get about 8. Instead, they found 16 in the end zone. Max Schnorr connecting with Aiden Davis to make it a 7-0 lead. The Golden Tornado on the next drive for Brashear on a third down. They were able to play takeaway. Ian Wilson picking off the football, taking it 32 yards into the end zone. Extra point from Max Gianeski was good, and just like that, Butler was up 14-0. Brashear, with early into the second quarter, decided to take a shot down the field. Butler's Landon Lacey was right there. Second interception of the night for Donovan Meadows and Brashear as Lacey came away with it. The Golden Tornado get it back at their own 14-yard line. They orchestrate a 15-play, 86-yard drive that ends with Max Schnorr finding Ryan McClister in the end zone to make it 21-0. Golden Tornado would then pick off Brashear on the next drive. This would be their third interception defensively. David Graff taking this one away, but on the very next play for Butler, Max Schnorr trying to make something happen through an interception, and the Brashear Bulls got it back. However, Butler's defense proving stout once again. They forced a turnover on downs, got the ball back, were forced to punt. On the final play of the half, Donovan Meadows throwing one up again. Braylon Littlejohn playing center field, picked it off around the 20-yard line, and he took it to the house. An 80-yard interception return for the Golden Tornado. An extra point good by Max Gianeski. And Chris, it is a 28-0 lead for the Golden Tornado.
Well, if you're a Butler Golden Tornado coach right now, this is exactly what you preached all week. You got to come out, you got to jump out early, you got to play good offensively, you got to play good defensively. They have done, last week we said they came out very, very flat. This week they come out exactly the opposite. And I think something has actually lit that flame a little bit is obviously the return of Braylon Littlejohn. So they need to continue. So now if you're in there right now, you go in, you take a look at some things on the board, you make some adjustments. There's always something that needs adjusting. You talk to the kids, you find out what they're seeing, and what you want to do is you tell your kids, listen, we're getting the ball back. You want to go down and score. We want to take some time off the clock, and then you want to start substitute. We want to get this football game to 35-0, which will put it in a mercy rule, and that way we can start substituting a little bit, getting some other guys on the football field.
So you heard him, 28-0. That's the score right now. We're turning things over to Don Rebo and the gang for the Trib Live High School halftime show, so make sure you stick around. Butler working with a 4-touchdown lead as you are listening to our Cunningham Shaner halftime show right here on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time, the 50-50 number. 50-50 tickets for Butler. The number is 289340. Once again, 289340. The 50-50 ticket. The winner, if you have that ticket, please report to the concession stand to pick up your winners. Boosters would like to thank all of our business sponsors. Please note our various banner sponsors throughout the stadium. And be sure to give back to their businesses and show your values in the community to give so much for the children. Don't forget to get your raffle tickets for the chance to win a family fall fun package. Prizes include 4 passes to splash the good and 1 night accommodations. Do a blast order thrill combo, family pass to option trampolines, $100 gift card to Big Beer Brand, $100 gift card to Dick's Sporting Goods, $100 gift card to Sam's Fun, a backpack cooler, and a grill accessory pack. Tickets are $10 each. Drawing date is September 30th. College football boosters appreciate the support. For your living through real work, choose Native Rep for specialists for all your real estate needs. Premium Valley Salon, one of those areas of premier food service salon and day spa. Located in North Main Street, extension of Butler.
You know, anybody that will. So, you know, I think you go in and write. Be all my guys up front, and they have led a couple.
As we prepare for the second half, it's broadcast tonight. We have the Golden Tornadoes 1 pitch, the Brashear High Bulls 0. Kicking for Brashear, number 22, Aaron. Ball kicked out of bounds, and the second ball spot on the 35-yard line. The goal tornado, first and 10. Handoff to number 28, Landon Lacey. Tackle by Brashear, number 28, Michael Butler. Gain of 7 yards, brings up 2nd and 3. Gain of 28 yards. Quarterback keeper, number 9, Brashear, getting about 4 yards. Quarterback number 6, Jake Matthews. Quarterback keep once again by number 9, Brashear. Lost the yard, brings up 3rd down and 9. Carrying the ball, 28, Landon Lacey. Result of the play is 4th down. Landon Lacey on the carry. 4th down by number 16, DeAndre Davis. Gain 4 yards. Results, the goal tornado, 1st down. Carried by number 33, Landon Dubiak. Lost 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 13 yards. Sean Sullivan, Jay Bentley's back to Brashear. Brashear has the kickoff. Return number 6, Jaden Atkins, brought down by Sean Dreaming drop.
Up here tonight. Exactly what you want to do in the first drive, though, coming out of halftime.
First down and 10 for Brashear, Donovan Meadows. And the Bulls will start this drive at their own 23. As the scoreboard asks the Golden Tornado defense to drop the hammer on this drive.
Yes.
Handoff, Solomon bounces it to the outside. He picks up the first down, working sideline to the 35. Knocked out at the 36. Looked like Butler, Chris, kind of committed to the interior.
Well, they
there.
did, and I can watch him. Billy Elliott's body language down here. He's upset because somebody got lazy here on the outside, and they let themselves get turned and sealed and gave up the outside, lost contain, and he's angry about it. And I'd be angry. As a matter of fact, I'm a little angry about it myself because you had such a great drive. You can't start slacking off now.
13-yard carry for Solomon. Up the middle, cuts back. Brought down around the 39. It'll be a pickup of 3 for the 5'11", 195-pound senior.
Boy, what a nice play by Brock Popovich. I'm watching him in there, and Brock Popovich is just coming, and he's doing exactly what he's taught to do. He's coming off the football. He's extending his arms into the opposing player. He's playing it off. It comes right beside him. He plays off and makes a tackle. Just a super job. You could teach from it if you were teaching defensive tackles. A nice job by the senior Brock Popovich.
5:30 and winding in the third. 35-0 Butler in front. Brashear with the ball at their own 39. Golden Tornado next week, by the way, making a trip out to Hollidaysburg. We'll have that game for you right here on WBUT. It'll be a handoff. Solomon, this time nowhere to go. Golden Tornado do a nice job of gathering to him. Somehow he keeps his feet, continues to move, gets about to the 40-yard line, a pickup of maybe 1. Give the kid credit, man. He's been tough on the interior
He has
today.
been. A good, really nice job by the Golden Tornado doing some gang tackling and really, again, correcting mistakes from last week on both sides of the football. You see the Golden Tornado really at the point of attack rather than last week. I felt like they were doing some waiting and some catching. This week they're stepping forward. Everybody's playing downhill. Really nice job.
Third down, and we'll call it 6 as the ball is in between the 40 and the 41. 4:35 and winding here in the third. Shotgun formation for the Bulls. Meadows, handoff Solomon. He goes up the gut. He'll be stopped after a gain of about 2, taking it to the 43, bringing up a 4th down and 3.
Little power play there. They actually pulled 2 guys to the right-hand side, and the Golden Tornado were there to meet it. Last week I felt like there were times that we were just losing the battle at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage, and this week we're winning it. And when you're playing good football on the defensive line, the line stays where it is, and that's what's happening right now. The Golden Tornado defensive line is doing a great job, and when those defensive linemen can tie up tacklers like Brock Popovich is able to tie people up, it lets Andrada and McTighe make tackles.
4th down. Brashear needs 3 to keep this drive alive. Clock now at 3:43. Back to the pistol formation for the Bulls. Handoff. Solomon trying to bounce it to the outside. He's got the first down. Took it out to around the 47. Needed to get to the 46.
Kind of committed to the blitz there up on the inside. Did a good job stuffing. He's able to bounce it outside, and Lacey's able to run it down. Lacey now coming out of the ball game. Looks like he may have a cramp or something.
We'll see Ryan McClister check in along with David Graff. 1st and 10 for Brashear, as this has been the Solomon drive here. Sean Solomon has had 5 carries so far right now.
And now with the running clock, we are under 3 minutes to play in the quarter.
And he's accounted for 24 yards on this drive for the Brashear Bulls.
Cheerleaders are shooting T-shirts.
I like it. Do you think we'll get one up here?
That's going to be a heck
Well,
of a
if
shot.
I put my fire helmet on, do you think they recognize
They're going to
me?
feel bad for you probably if you have it on.
And ball carrier Solomon once again crosses the 50, barrels his way to the 44, the Golden Tornado. He has been attacking and running downhill for Butler.
Yeah, and really just a little lead play. They're pulling the guard, and the Bulls now going back to the up-tempo. They're already on the line of scrimmage with a 2nd and short, trying to get a playoff.
Pickup of 9 for Solomon, 2 sidecar set, and we'll get a flag on the play.
And it's the same play, which would have been blown up. Keegan Bracken really just coming to meet that pulling guard.
False start penalty. This will move it back 5 yards.
And it's, when you're an undisciplined football team, and you're trying to run an up-tempo offense like that, it's very, very difficult because it takes a lot of discipline.
And how do you coach discipline?
You know what? It's got to start on day one. It's an attitude. It starts on day one, and you and I have had a lot of conversations about this. I think, bless you. I think I think what you do is there's got to be discipline in everything.
Yeah.
That's how you teach it. I mean, it's in everything from how you tie your shoes, how you dress, your locker, everything.
2nd down and 6. They go back to Solomon, and he will fall forward, getting to the 48. Because, you even see it at the NFL level, where, there are certain teams that are just flagged a lot. They're undisciplined.
Yeah.
And it seems like those are situations where you're wondering how much can a coaching staff actually get involved in helping that process.
Well, and you know what? I look back to the Giants teams that won the Super Bowls here several years ago. Tom Coughlin used to take a lot of heat because they said how difficult and how much of a disciplinarian he was, and a lot of people, a lot of his players didn't like him. But when you win 2 Super Bowls, you can't argue.
It's tough to argue with the results. A 3rd down and 5 upcoming. Just over a minute to go, and a 35-0 lead for the Golden Tornado. Handoff right side. Ball carrier on this one appeared to be Jaden Atkins.
Tornado
Actually, check that.
Nice
it was
job.
Solomon once again, just from a different spot.
And they're just running some power, really. I think just trying to run some base offensive plays and maybe try and sneak one into the end zone. Brendan Stevens checks out of the ball game. Brendan Stevens is a kid I feel that showed up the last couple weeks.
Tell you what, he had a big play in the game against Meadville on a fumble recovery.
Yeah, and I've noticed tonight here he's a big kid, and he's starting. Sometimes kids don't learn how to use their body until they become a senior, and I believe he's a senior. Yeah, he is a senior, and he's starting to come into his own a little bit.
4th down and 4. They go back to Solomon. He wants the outside. He's got it. Picks up the 1st down and will be tripped up as he stumbles across the 35. A 1st down on a 4th down.
Well, it's kind of the same play that they got the last 1st down on the Tornado. If you're in the booth right now, that's something you kind of say, hey, listen, when we get another situation like this, let's bring some pressure from the outside maybe, and you're able to stop that play.
35-0, that's the score. We've reached the end of the 3rd. Butler in front. Brashear is driving. You're listening to Golden Tornado Football on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, Butler 30.
Let's do 2.
Brashear Bulls 0.
It's a 35-0 lead for the Golden Tornado. Tyler Frio with you, alongside Chris Morrow, as we are live from Art Bernardi Stadium on what has turned out to be just another gorgeous Friday night in Butler.
Yeah, beautiful. And the Tornado came to play, came out really full of a lot of motion, played, really have followed the game tonight, I think. In the third quarter, offense runs the football, end up passing for a touchdown to get the mercy rule going. And I look for this fourth quarter. I kind of feel that you still have your starters in there right now, but I think you're going to start to see some substitution here real quick.
Clock already winding as we begin play here in the fourth. We've, as Chris mentioned, hit the mercy roll. And so first down and 10 for the Bulls. Meadows, power pitch left side. This is Solomon. Solomon's got the edge, picks up the first down. He's got the sideline and will be pushed out just shy of the 10.
And we're going to get a personal foul, late hit out of bounds. And that'll tack on another 15, and that's going to put them awfully close to the goal line.
But how about Sean Solomon on this drive, Chris? He's carried the ball 10 times.
Wow.
And this is a drive that started at the 23. He's nearly gotten 65 yards by himself.
Well, and a lot of that yardage really has been outside. Yeah, I feel he's really starting, the Tornado defense starting to break down a little bit on their contain. That obviously will be a first down, and they will tack it on, and that will put the ball right on the 5-yard line for the Brashear Bulls.
So first and goal. Two tailback set for the Bulls. Golden Tornado, again, they've kept a goose egg on the board, and they're trying to stop Brashear from scoring here, but Bulls will go up the middle, and Solomon's in. He's in for a touchdown.
Little quick toss. Haven't seen that play really. A nice little short yardage play call by the Bulls gets them on the board for the first time tonight.
And it looks like we do have an injured Brashear player. Tell you what, we'll take a quick timeout as they tend to him. 35-6 now the score with 11:04 to go. You're listening to Butler Football on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network. Take two here, Jeff.
Play Westinghouse? You play Westinghouse, right?
Yeah. $35-6. That's the score. Golden Tornado surrendering their first touchdown of the evening, coming on a 6-yard touchdown run from Sean Solomon, who did that drive all on his own.
And as a coach, it's frustrating because you want to preserve the shutout.
And actually, I think Sean Solomon was the player that was down for Brashear there, and with good reason. Yeah, I think it may have been a cramp, and he had carried the ball 11 times on that drive.
I'm guessing the Bulls don't have a kicking game here as they line up to go for two.
Butler a little late to get set defensively. They finally get in position. And a
fumble on the play.
Loose. It will be recovered, but nonetheless, a 2-point conversion, no good. 35-6, that's the score, 11:04 to go. We'll be back with more Butler football right after this on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network. Take two. of action. Butler football on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
And once again, we're in the mercy rule, and how that works is once the mercy rule is on, it does not go off. That ball kicked out of bounds by the Bulls once again.
Yeah, so it doesn't go in and out like basketball, I believe, does. I think basketball.
No, basketball, when it's on, it's on.
Really?
Yeah, it's there's been a few situations where, a number of years ago, Butler played Erie Prep. Actually, it was one of the first times I think they ever played them, and they were up, got the mercy rule on Butler, and actually Butler came back and pulled within a 35-28 ball game.
Really?
Yeah, I was a part of that game. They got 3 onside kicks in a row. The clock's really working against you then. So ultimately lost the football game, but it was one of the wisest things I feel the WPL ever instituted.
Yeah.
And it might even have came from the PIAA, but
Noah Ritchie will take over at the quarterback position for the Golden Tornado, the 5'6" junior. Standing under centers, Butler goes into their wing T formation.
Got to see Noah play on Saturday.
And handoff up the middle. Running back is Zane Somerville. He'll take it out to the 46-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 3.
JV's had a win on Saturday. Ninth grade also had a win Thursday
nice
night.
to see W's.
Yeah, ninth grade beat Central Catholic. So it's always good to get a victory against a WPL team. So they were able to come out with a victory. And boy, the ninth grade has a really nice football team. That group's been together all the way up through the Midget League, has been able to do a lot of winning, and it's a nice group of kids.
So Ritchie keeping an eye on the play clock, trying to grind as much game clock as he can, as we are at 9:05, as Ritchie will now go under center.
Pure wing T set for the Golden Tornado.
Motion man is Dubiak. Ball is loose. Tornado and Ritchie were able to recover it.
Yeah, I believe they were.
But it'll go for a 3-yard loss, bringing up a 3rd down and 10. And that, can be a complicated situation. Not sure who the center is right now for Butler, trying to get a number on it. But if you're not familiar with that center-quarterback relationship.
Well, Butler doesn't go under center often.
No, we haven't seen that really all that much.
And I can't really remember. Towards the end of the game, maybe Ritchie went under center in the JV game. But JV game is canceled tomorrow. They will not go down to the city and play. I'm not sure if Brashear had enough
guys. It takes
guys.
a stop out of the strip district for you, huh?
Yeah, it does. Well, that's one of my favorites.
Going to go down to get some pasta, if you will, fish. And we've got another fumble on the play.
And that will go to the Bulls.
And there he will go. Brashear is going to do a scoop and score. Jaden Aikens was the one that picked it up right around the 40-yard line and took it in. There seemed to be some miscommunication on the wing T.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It eventually led to Ritchie just losing.
Yeah, kind of coughed it up there. I'm not really sure what happened. As a coach, you're riding so high because you played so well, and then that happens, and it's just so incredibly frustrating because, you're thinking, nothing's better than shutting out a football team.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. You can probably hear the frustration in my own voice now because I think, man, because you always work, you always want to have goose eggs on the scoreboard. It's something you're always striving to do.
So we'll call it a 40-yard touchdown for Jaden Atkins, who's been heavily involved with this Brashear offense and special teams unit, and now is a touchdown to his name on a scoop and score with 8:01 to go. 2-point conversion attempt from Brashear, and they will get whistled for a false start. Everything got going a little early there.
Yeah, a little bit.
So as we mentioned earlier, the Golden Tornado, again barring something crazy, here we'll move to 2-1 on the season, but make the trip to Hollidaysburg next week, which that will be a journey
kind of
for.
A far one, yeah.
We're actually going to take a plane out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my son Alec, I was fly us out there. It'd be great.
Flying to the great Hollidaysburg Airport.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Actually, it's not a bad idea.
So there we go. Or actually, maybe it was an offsides penalty on Butler now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, they kind of went half the distance
went half
there.
up. So Meadows will throw, fade pattern, corner of the end zone, and caught by the receiver. And they said he got a foot down. Yeah. Wow.
Nice catch there. Actually, I kind of looked like a little bit of a push-off. I can't really see it all that well from here, but...
And difficult to get a number, folks. We apologize on that side of the field, but Brashear's able to connect on the two-point conversion, making it 35-14. 8:01 to go in the fourth. We've got more Butler football coming your way on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
With 8 minutes left in the second half, we have
Take two. Here's the run-up from Garcia. This one tailing to the sidelines once again.
They've all gone out of bounds.
They have. There's
point,
been 3 kickoffs so far tonight for Brashear. All have gone out of play.
And, I think you're playing Brashear. When you look at your schedule at the beginning of the year, there's games that you have to win, that this is a winnable football game. That's a goal. And that's why I think that last week was so frustrating, because I think, they looked at Shaler as a win and they looked at Meadville as a win. And to come out of there with a loss, I think this has been a good rebound for the Golden Tornado. Not really sure what Holiday's Perk has.
Yeah,
it's not a team I'm very familiar with.
Sunk my teeth, and as many coaches do, we also take it week by week here.
Yeah.
We don't look ahead on the schedule.
No, we don't.
The only time we only look ahead whenever we're talking restaurants. And I don't even think you and I have looked too far into the Holidaysburg restaurants.
We will study the restaurants.
We will. We'll really dive into that. Motion man is David Graff in the wing tee. He'll be the ball carrier, and he will work his way to get to the 38, and we do see a flag come down at the end of the play.
And that will not stop the clock.
And so we'll see the conversation here. And it is a personal foul against the Golden Tornado.
Boy, you have to wonder, that was so far away from the play.
Which I wonder if that's what went into the decision to call it.
I didn't see anything, but, sometimes somebody says something that's inappropriate and they get a flag for it. And, and that's, we talk about discipline. Just as much as you have to have discipline, during the play, you need to have discipline, when you're up. I mean, that's a coachable moment for this football staff. You can't take penalties like that.
And what's the balance of, playing physical football and encouraging a physical brand of football, but also knowing when to pull it off?
I think it's something that you have to preach in practice. You get after it in practice, and I think
Richie pitches the ball out. Tailback takes it to the 35. Zane Somerville, the ball carrier.
I think, live football drills, I think, has taken a little bit of a hit over the last several years, and I think, you got to go live, and I think all of that stuff plays into your live drills, where you got guys, you do live drills, guys are getting beat, guys are winning battles, and you got to kind of teach guys how to react to those types of things.
Clock now inside the 6-minute marker, 35-14, the Golden Tornado in front. Noah Ritchie at the quarterback position for the Golden Tornado as they go under center in the wing tee. And the wing tee very timing based.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
As Graff will be the motion man, handoff, and
Joker
the tailback for the Golden Tornado is Alex Catalfano, and he'll take it to the original line of scrimmage to the 35. And glad that you were able to get the Joker crisscross.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? It's kind of funny because last year they did it so often, and they were very, very good at it. And teams knew it was coming, and they still were able to do it very, very productively. And this year, I bet you that's only the 3rd or 4th time we've seen it. So two different offensive coordinators.
It's been a handful of times. And what is, the key to execution there? Is it more hidden from the quarterback, or is it really done up front?
Well, a lot of it, first of all, you have to set it up.
Yeah.
So you need to run the same motion. In that instance, the Joker crisscross came back to the left. What you have to do is you have to run that play to the right 3 or 4 times, 5 times to bait the defense to get them moving in that direction. That motion should get them. And they were running that motion earlier and running the slant route off of it. And then what you do is you come back, and a lot of it is based on the quarterback. You want your quarterback to show his back, and you want that ball kind of down by his belt. So if you're a linebacker, and I remember there were some great teams that did it when I played, that you just didn't know where the ball was. They hit it so effectively on their body that they really did a good job. So it's timing, it's hiding, it's a lot of different things.
Delay of game penalty as Butler faces a 4th down. And so that'll move him back 5 yards. Braylon Littlejohn to punt. Gets a clean one off. Really
nice
high
punt.
up there into the lights. Will take a really nice Butler bounce and will be fielded by Solomon, who flips it to a Brashear. Atkins now the carrier, and the Golden Tornado luckily holding their lanes as Atkins will be brought down at the 45, but quick thinking Sean Solomon there trying to catch the Golden Tornado off guard.
Yeah, Bernie Elliott, the number 39, the senior, 5'9", 175, comes up with a nice play on special teams. So, this is a situation where you're ahead in the ball game, you have it well in hand, where you can get, a senior like Bernie Elliott into the ball game, get him some reps, let him play, and, sometimes kids get noticed at this time, where they're in it, all of a sudden they're in there and they're playing well, they might earn a shot.
And the other thing, too, and we're seeing it already, Game 3, the need for depth. For the Golden Tornado, and so these are valuable reps.
Absolutely, and they still have some starters out there. Andrada's still out there, I see. And Andrada's a junior. I mean, this is...
Solomon, the ball carrier, once again, crossing over the 50 down to the 49, a pickup of about 6 on first down.
Right on cue, Andrada comes up with the tackle.
When was the biggest jump you saw from players? Would you say junior to senior year?
It just depends.
Could it be sophomore?
I would say, it just depends on what type of player that you are. There's a lot of players that play JVs as sophomores. Able to do a good job.
A guy like Deshaun Cox to me comes to mind. Somebody who was playing varsity last year.
Yes, and he now as a senior, he's kind of grown into it. I think was the power sweep that the Bulls have run along.
Solomon makes a man miss. He's going to go sideline, takes it to the 20, the 15, cuts back, uses speed. He's gone. Touchdown, Brashear. And there's some upset coaches up top as Golden Tornado now lead by just 15.
And that will stop the clock at 2:54. And once again, it does stop on a touchdown, and they will go with an untimed down for the extra point. But obviously you have a 35-0 lead, and all of a sudden you're looking at a 35-20 ball game. And we've called games like this. This game hasn't been close at all.
Yeah.
But we've called games in which, especially last year with the Golden Tornado, were in the football game to the very end. It ended up 35-21, and it was considerably closer than that. So if you see the score, like I said, this is just a... they've been able to score late in the game on the JVs a couple times. And a lot of times what you do is you keep your starters in. If you're Brashear, you got to work. You got a full season, so you have your starters in there.
And we get a flag. Looks like this could be on the Golden Tornado. They do. They get called for an offside.
And I believe they did it the last time, too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what you have in this situation, as frustrating as it may be, you put a JV team out there Saturday. This is not the same defense that played Saturday morning because you've sprinkled in a few starters that are still in there. You have a couple of seniors that haven't played much, and you have some JVs. So as far as being a cohesive unit that's worked together,
a pass and
it'll be
flag.
Be a pass interference. Which, boy, at this time of the game, I thought that was kind of decent defense, but I know they got him because he didn't turn his head around.
Max Mayo was the cornerback. They were targeting Jaden Nelson. Bit of a size advantage for Nelson, 6'5", compared to the Mayo 5'9".
Well, it's good. It's good coverage. You just have to turn your head, and it is by rule. It's a penalty, so it's not a terrible call.
So Brashear will take another crack at this. Meadows out of the gun. And he'll look to take it himself, and the Golden Tornado.
He's going to get a face mask.
I think it's going to be a face mask. As coming from the outside was Evan Reinsel.
Yeah, Reinsel does a great job of getting to where he needs to be, but unfortunately grabs the face mask. When you go up high, that's the kind of stuff that happens. And that will yet give Brashear another crack. And
so it's half the distance of a half a yard.
Yeah, so they give him another shot at it. But back to what I was saying, though, you get you don't get a unit out there of 11 guys that have had a chance to play together a lot.
Collection group.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough. You're not sure of assignments, and I'm sure Billy's just running a base out there, but it's still tough.
And it will be Meadows who will get in for the 2-point conversion. So 35-22, 2:54 to go in this ball game. We'll be back with more Butler football right after this on WBUT and the Triple Live High School Sports Network. We'll take 2.
2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the game. Butler 35, Brashear Bulls 22. Number 22, Aaron Garcia, and Deshaun Collins, and Declan Goss back to Butler MC.
.254 to go in this ball game. The Golden Tornado leading by 13, 35-22. The Brashear Bulls scoring 22 unanswered points. The Golden Tornado set to return as the clock will run. Garcia's an onside kick, and the Golden Tornado will recover. Give credit to Matthew Reese for the Golden Tornado for coming up and attacking that.
That's
because
a really nice job. You can't really play it any better. But, as I said earlier, this mercy clock doesn't stop. Now, obviously, Butler's still in command of the football game, but, Brashear tries the onside. If they get it, I believe they have all 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
Which will stop the clock. I mean, you could kind of make it a ball game if you kind of get, a little bit laxed in how you're playing the game.
You even see Eric Christie here opting to put his starters back in on the offensive side of things. He's a 2-touchdown game, and I think maybe just wants to secure a victory here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can run probably just a couple plays. Mack will go under center here. Wing T formation.
Motion man is Dobson, handoff Lacey.
And he loses the
ball. It's loose on the ground, and officials still have not made a call.
I'll tell you what, I thought Brashear had the football at first. They had a very good opportunity to get it. And there's flags now all over the field. Oh, boy.
So officials still have not made a call as to exactly who has the football.
And it's something very, very minor, but as a coach, like right now I see Brock Popovich backing up his guys. That's the senior leadership that we talked about earlier on in the night. Somebody got a penalty in there. Some tempers are starting to flare a little bit. Brock takes the leadership role and backs everybody up.
So actually the clock had wound during that time to get to 1:49, as the officials had never really stopped the clock. And also, again, we have not had a call as to who recovered this football. So it's a dead ball personal foul penalty against Brashear. And that player has been ejected from the game. So
and it was
enough to warrant that.
Yeah, I don't think it was wasn't a physical play. It didn't seem like it anyways. We didn't see anybody go flying out of the pile. But an ejection by WPL rule means he's not only out for the rest of this game, but the next game. So it goes to the discipline we've discussed it with Brashear for most of the evening.
As Butler looks like they did maintain possession, so despite the fumble, the Golden Tornado will keep this ball. 1:49 on the clock. It has not been an easy.
And I think that's something that will be talked about. You want to finish strong. You want to close games.
So the carry by Lacey. That was coughed up, recovered by Butler.
And I think that's the last 3 plays by Butler's offense may have been fumbles. Is that correct?
There was 1 punt thrown into the mix, but
there was a punt thrown in there. Okay.
2 out of the last
handful. We got a fumble that we got back.
Yeah. So Butler now will go out of the gun, and even to me, Chris, this does seem like a comfort thing, and I see this a lot or actually, never mind, Mac's going to go under center, but I've seen a lot of colleges who are just uncomfortable with having their quarterback go under center because it's just not a part of their repertoire.
Well,
and now it looks like they're going to go to a victory formation to kneel it. So Mac will just take a knee there. And with 1:20 to go, I think if they fall on the football 2 more times, that'll take care of that.
Well, and if you're Coach Moore for Brashear, I mean, you have found a little bit of positive. I mean, your kids put 22 points on the board, but boy, you have to be frustrated getting on the bus with the amount of penalties and personal fouls, and now an ejection late in the game. It's just, I'm sure that's very frustrating for him.
And you can even hear, you can see me very animated on the sideline right now, talking to his guys. As Mac will let this play clock wind, and we'll just knee the football there.
And really, that's
actually, I think that will do it, the way the play clock, game clock figured out. High fives and handshakes for the Golden Tornado. They come away with a 35-22 win. We'll recap it next. You're listening to Butler Football on WBUT and the Triple I High School Sports Network. We'll run them all.
Steve Glass in the 7th inning switch.
That's it.
Final score from Mark Bernardi Stadium. The Butler Golden Tornado take down the Brashear Bulls 35-22. So we welcome you into our post-game show. Let's take a look at our scoring totals for the evening. The Golden Tornado started this game out on defense, and they were able to get after it early. A 4th down interception by Aiden Davis set the Golden Tornado up at their own 33, but it did come down to a 4th down play. And for Butler, they needed a connection to get 9 yards. Instead, they found 16 as Max Schnorr was able to connect to Aiden Davis on a 16-yard touchdown pass to make it 7-0. On the next drive, the Golden Tornado played takeaway. A 32-yard interception returned from Ian Wilson, making it a quick 14-0 lead for Butler. A turnover on downs from Brashear, but led to a punt by the Golden Tornado. Brashear got it back, and it was Landon Lacey who came away with an interception, giving it back to Butler. 15 plays later, the Golden Tornado would find pay dirt on an 11-yard touchdown pass from Max Schnorr to Ryan McClister. Golden Tornado making it a 21-0 lead. Next drive, David Graff came away with the 3rd interception for the Golden Tornado that night, but for Butler, they gave it right back. Olison, Daquan for Brashear coming away with an interception. Both teams exchanged possessions. On the final play, play of the first half. The Golden Tornadoes, Braylon Littlejohn back from injury, making his presence known, picked off a pass from Donovan Meadows at the 20-yard line and took it to the house. An 80-yard interception return for Butler made it 28-0, and the Golden Tornado to start things off in the second half. We're looking for a touchdown to get into the mercy roll, and that's exactly what happened. A 9-play drive that took over 5 minutes ended with a 21-yard touchdown beauty from Max Schnorr to Deshaun Cox to make it 35-0. Brashear did not go quietly, though. They were able to put together an 11-play drive that was all Sean Solomon. He ran the ball every single time. It was eventually 67 yards for the senior from Brashear. He ended with a 6-yard touchdown run. A 40-yard fumble recovery from Jaden Atkins actually made it a 35-14 game. And then Sean Solomon with his second touchdown of the night made it 35-22. But that's where the game ended. The Golden Tornado able to fall on the football and come away with a 35-22 win. Chris, a score that will make this game seem closer than it was.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Tornado had this game from the get-go, as they should. This is a City League team. I think Brashear's in a building phase in their program, and it's a victory.
Without two of their top players.
Yeah, without two of their top players. I mean, this is a game that you can feel good about tonight because you went out and you did what you should do. And there's a big difference, when you go out and you do something that nobody thinks you're going to do. But this is something you had to have. You went out, you corrected some things from last week, and I think going forward, I don't think Hollidaysburg has that strong of a program from what I've heard a little bit tonight, people talking. So you got to go get another win.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, if you're Butler, you can start the season 3-1. Boy, you're where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think you're gonna, then we take the trip up to Erie, and that's going to be, a ball game. But if you go 3-1, and you're hoping in a couple weeks maybe you're able to get one of those linemen back. Maybe Frazier's able to come back. I think Bebe will still be out. But I think with the of Brady really week out did throw the interception in trap tonight. He really played he's just an outstanding football player. Like I said tonight, colleges are
and he's going to be our deal with a motive. It's the difficult passes. I mean, It's throwing. The throw to Deshaun Cox, to me, in the end zone was the one that stood out. 21 yards across his body and threw a dime into the back corner of the end zone, hitting Deshaun in stride.
Yeah, just tremendous. I mean, and Mac's starting to do some of the little things that, obviously everybody sees the touchdown passes and things like that, but he wisely ran the football, I thought, a couple times tonight. And don't forget, he's playing defense as well.
Yeah.
And he's starting, his fakes are good, and he's starting to mix up his count a little bit. He did the hard count. I think he got them to jump 2 or 3 times tonight. So, collectively, his play continues to get better. So, as we go forward, you're going to need that senior leadership from Mac to continue to grow.
We'll make the trip out to Hollidaysburg so you don't have to. It's a 2-hour trip out to Hollidaysburg as the Golden Tornado will take on Hollidaysburg next Friday night. That kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. Our pregame coverage will begin at 6:45. Big thanks to Jeffrey Cupp back at the studio for making sure we stay on the air. Also, big shout-out to the Butler Tornado television crew. We were brought to you live on Armstrong Channel 204 tonight, and they've got a couple more broadcasts set aside for you this year as well. Final score, 35-22. That does it for us from Art Bernardi Stadium. The Golden Tornado now 2-1 on the season. Enjoy the rest of the weekend as you have been listening to Butler football on WBUT and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Shoot.
Yeah, you know, they just sneakily